Alrighty, we'll get started. Welcome everyone to our March 7th open session meeting 2024. And we will get started with our student representative to the Board of Trustees, Daniela Ruiz, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Students and teachers are entering a new age and envisioning a new world. The traditional classroom style has evolved, and the resource of artificial intelligence has been incorporated into our education. It's important to note that AI is rapidly changing and growing every passing day. Inside the classroom, the students and their teachers are learning about new applications for the first time and slowly finding practical applications. AI is here to stay, and if taught correctly, it can enhance, sharpen, and improve student learning. It is our responsibility to educate ourselves and stay informed. Whether we use it as an asset or see it as a hindrance is up to us. Let's take a moment to step back and consider how artificial intelligence can be used to improve our knowledge not only in the workplace, but in our personal lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. And now the Assistant Clerk of the Board, Jessica Guerrero, will report actions taken during closed session.
Thank you. For item 4.1, no reportable action taken regarding public employee performance evaluation superintendent. 4.2, the Board of Trustees, by a vote of 5-0, approved the settlement agreement in Orange County Superior Court case number 30-2021-01236120. 4.3, no reportable action taken regarding negotiations. 4.4, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to accept the agreement with employee HR-2023-24-63. 4.5, no reportable action taken regarding personnel. 4.6, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to approve the release of temporary certified teachers. A full copy of the employee numbers affected by this action is available for inspection. 4.7, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to non-elect the certified employees listed on the agenda for the next school year. 4.8, the Board of Trustees took formal action by a vote of 5-0 to approve the expulsion of students 23-02 and 23-17, and that includes the closed session report out.
Thank you. We will move on. Oh, before we do that, I would like to introduce some guests that we have in our audience. I saw earlier our former trustee Al Jabbar. Is he still here? And he is now, oh, there he is, and he is Chief of Staff for Doug Chafee's office. Welcome. And we have Lisa Eck, our CTA advocate. She's here somewhere. Jeff Morgenstern, ASTA President. And Jennifer Sasai, our ALTA President. Is there anyone that I inadvertently did not see here from our other associations or guests? Heather Huttner, sorry, President of CSEA. Welcome. All right, moving on to item 6.1, 2023-24, second interim budget report.
Well, good evening. Board President Rendo Trejo, members of the board, Superintendent Matsuda, cabinet members, members of the public, and the public viewing online. Tonight I'll be updating the budget based on the current budget information that we have as of date at this point. And so as you guys all know, we have been having a lot of roller coaster rides right through the whole budget at this point. The state budget continues to be worsened at this point. And so back in January, I did some update how the Legislative Analyst Office forecasted already a $58 billion deficit already for the 24-25 budget at this point. And so that's a big concern for us. And just on February 20th, the LAO's office released additional information, and there is an additional $15 billion of deficit going in. And so this would increase the deficit to $73 billion at this point. That's with a 0.76% COLA that we currently have for going into next year. However, there is a possibility of a 0% COLA that we are hearing already at this point. And just to remember, we, during the height of the COVID-19, back in 2021, we did have a 0% COLA at that time. And so it was not that long ago that we did have to experience a 0% COLA. So I just want to remind everyone about that number there. And as we go into the forecast for the 24-25, as part of our second interim report, wanted to bring you back to see what was presented from starting of the adopted budget year to what is being projected currently. So the initial budget that was proposed back in June of 2023, already at this point, was about $419 million. And at the first interim was $420 million, and that COLA was actually increased to 3.94% COLA. By second interim, which is what the report we are bringing to board tonight, the COLA drops to 0.76%. And so then the total LCFF base revenue goes down to $410 million. And so that is about a $9.6 million difference between what was back in June to what is presented at this point. And if we project a 0% COLA that we're looking at for next fiscal year, this would decrease the projection to $407, almost $408 million for a district, and that would be a $2.2 million decrease from even the current budget at second interim. So as you can see, the budget shifts a lot, right? There's increasing COLA, changes in COLA, and all these things. And so if you're just even looking at the adopted budget to what the possibly could be a second interim budget already, to see what it could be like based on the 0% COLA, the difference is almost a $12 million difference in a single fiscal year. And so just wanted to point that out. This is what the projection could look like moving into next year. So wanted to share with some of the indicators for our districts, as you have all seen in this chart, and we have been sharing this with a lot of our school sites as well. This is our enrollment projection. If you're going back to 2011-12, at the height, we were at almost 33,000 students. This fiscal year, we are currently, we dropped to about 27,000 students. And if you look back to 12 years of time, we dropped overall about 5,500 students. But the drop is actually accelerating. In the first 6 years, between 2011-12 to 2017-18, we dropped about 2,000 students. But in the last 6 years, we dropped about 3,500 students. And the forecast for the next 4 years going out, we are looking at to drop over 4,300 students by the time 27-28. And so we want to make sure that you see this is the numbers we are receiving, and we do use our feeder school data to get us this information from the 5 different feeders, and we project them out for the out years. And unfortunately, this phenomenon continues to drop. Over in Orange County, as a county, we have dropped over $60,000 since COVID even started. And so it's a phenomenon.
60,000 students, not dollars.
No, sorry, 60,000 students in Orange County. Yes, thank you. The other issue that we are having is the attendance rate. And so prior to COVID, our district were at about 95%, And during the COVID year, we were safe that year. So the state gave us the prior year numbers to help us with that. And the first year we came back from COVID, we were still at a 95% rate, which is phenomenal. Other districts dropped around 90% or even below that. And we came back extremely strong, and so do want to thank all the teachers and all the staff that work really hard to make sure that our kids come back to a very safe environment and to make sure that they did not continue to lose their learning. So very appreciate everybody's hard work for that. But something happened started last year. We started to see the drop in attendance rate. And so it was each month as we opened school, it was dropping almost a percentage a month. And so last year, our rate was actually at 91%. And unfortunately, we were hoping that, with all the different things we're doing, we're hoping the number would come back up. Unfortunately, based on the projections at P1 that we finished back in December, we're looking at a P2 number of our attendance rate of about 90% at this point.
Dr. Nian, that's attendance rate, that's not enrollment rate, correct?
No, this is attendance. And yes, thank you for that question. We get paid based on attendance and not enrollment. So this is something that we want people to be aware of. The district gets paid only when students show up to school, right? And so it's very important you show up to school. But if you're sick, we understand. But unfortunately, we have now dropped 5 percentage points from where we were at traditionally in the past. And so this is something very concerning, and so we need to continue to work on that to see, is there other ways? I know even for independent studies, we're now doing 3 days if you can do that. And so just need to make sure you plan in advance and let your school know if you're going to be out more than 3 days, we can try to plan for that. And prior was 5 days. So anything that we can recover in attendance, it will help us. And so if we can even, get a percentage up, and we were hoping we can do that. Unfortunately, our trend now is moving towards the lower attendance rate. Now, just wanted to make sure we all know this is a phenomenon across the entire state as well at this point. Something happened during COVID. Districts dropped already back in 2020 to 23. They were all already statewide between 90 to 91%. So we were actually one of the districts that had better attendance rate. So I want to tell everyone, I'm very proud of all the work you have done. But then something happened, right? And kids are just not coming to school. I think just different things. But this trend now has become a new normal for most of the districts across the entire state. And so this is something that we saw it coming, but we want to make sure that, and I know a lot of staff are working hard to get the kids to come on campus, and we know that. And we just need to figure out if there's another way to tackle this. But this has now become a statewide problem as well. So talk about enrollment and talk about attendance. The next slide here, I want to share with everyone is the enrollment versus certificated teachers. So we just even going back 2017-18 and to what currently. So I shared that we lost in this period, in 6 years' time, over 3,500 students. And that's a lot of students. So for example, even Anaheim High Schools now, it's around 3,000 kids, right? A little below that. But can you imagine we're losing an entire school? But if you look at our staffing, going back to 2017-18, we had about 1,231 teachers at that time. And you're looking back, and if you're looking at what current staffing, we're about 1,233. And we do know that there were some of the reasons why we had the increasing staffing. So we had the student load. There was a contract that we did that was agreed upon with ASTA to lower the student load. So for junior high and Oxford, the load went from 222 to 213. And for the high schools, it went from 195 to 188 for class load. So it's not a class, it's a class load, student load, that's what we call it here. And so that first 3 years in 2018-19, 2019-20, and 2021, because of the agreement, the staffing did go up, right? Because that's what we said, we're gonna do this agreement, and that what happened. And also, COVID happened. And so in 2020, right, and then we also got additional money for some of the one-time dollar that came through. And so obviously, we were able to put some of the pandemic dollars into staffing. And so that staffing did go up during those times. And last year, we did have to adjust because a lot of the pandemic funding did ended last year. Some of the ESSER dollars did already concluded. The ESSER 1 and some of those dollars did conclude already at that time. And so currently, where we're at is we are declining enrollment over 3,500 students, but yeah, we have the same level of staffing as what we had back in 2017-18. So,
Dr. Ning, can you explain what ESSER funds are? for the
so
audience?
these were the COVID dollars that the district received after COVID that happened, and they were various funding as one-time dollars. And really, that money was supposed to get additional support, right? So you can buy different things, or you can hire additional staffing to come and support so that we can navigate through this pandemic.
Okay, so what AUHSD did then, just to clarify, we put this COVID money, the one-time money, into temporary staffing, knowing that that is going to go away eventually, where other districts, they didn't put it into people, they put it into things like plexiglass shields, et cetera, around the campuses.
So yes, well, we really value staff and wanted to make sure that our students have the support. So the district at that point did hire staffing for that, where a lot of districts did not do that. And if we were to go back to where we're at in terms of staffing, and if we can go back as 2017-18 as kind of like our base year and where we would be, basically accounting for declining enrollment. And obviously, we have been declining, right? I've been here telling the public, telling the board that we need to address this problem. And we do know that we are tackling that right now with the school consolidation committee as well. We know that we have this huge declining problem, and we're facing that problem as we speak, and working with Western staff and Orange View staff to do that. So, but this will be the staffing based on if we did not have the agreement, nor if we did not have the additional dollars, what would the staffing look like? If you can see here, in 2018-19, we would have about 1,217 teachers, but in reality, we actually had 1,276, so that's an additional 59 teachers. And at the high, whereas, we had the pandemic funding, as you can see back in 22-23, we had over 1,344 teachers at that time. And we did make some staffing adjustment, obviously, for current year, but do want to show that illustration that due to the various things, the two things was basically the pandemic funding as well as the agreement with the bargaining group that we did lower the class sizes, right, at that point.
So what you're saying then is over the last 6 years, since 2018, we have exceeded, I should say, we have been under the negotiated maximum load, correct?
Yes, correct.
And at the end of this year, with the unfortunate RIF notices going out and the layoffs that we're looking at, we will still be under the maximum class size?
Correct.
Correct? Okay, thank you.
And class load, yeah, class load. So there's other obligations that we do have. We have the STIRS and PERS district contributions, you can see here. That continues to go up. Unfortunately, it's very expensive to pay for the pension, and we have always keep going back to the state level and ask them, is there any way that the state can try to help with this to begin with? And so we'll continue to lobby for that.
Just to clarify the difference between STIRS and PERS and what that means.
Okay, thank you. STIRS is for a lot of folks who are in teachers or even certificated management principals. They're most likely in STIRS. PERS are anybody who is classified. For myself, I'm in a PERS membership, and so that's for mostly classified folks. Thank you. Great question. And as you can see this chart here, this is our health and welfare benefits and how much we have spent compared to what we're projecting. As you can see, healthcare is very expensive. We went from back in 2009, 2010, about $40 million, and by the time 2026, 27, it's going to be almost double to about $79 million at that point. So we need to continue, and we have a great health benefits committee, so really do thank all the folks who are on the benefits committee, really helping us to navigate this. And I know that we have done a lot of, the group has done a lot of amazing work, so really do want to thank all the bargaining group who have participated in that committee. It's a lot of work, and, you know, we meet every month, and there's a lot of different things that we talk about to try to make sure that we get the best benefits for everybody in our entire district.
Yeah, even with what you just said, the fantastic job the committee is doing, the cost per employee went up over $1,000
Yes,
for this year.
this year.
Which was not paid for by the employee, it's paid for by the district.
Correct. So we do not have any district, we do not have any employee contribution in our district. And our group work really hard to make sure we can support our staff. And this is something that's very important to staff. We understand, but the costs keep going up. And so there's different things that we're trying to do, and they're very, very cost conscious. So even when we see increases, they try to look at different ways to try to help the plan. So I do want to really take the time to thank the committee members. It's really, really hard. And, you know, and we, and many of them, if they have any problems, they do tell their reps who's on the committee, and they do come back to tell us on the committee. So we do hear from you guys. So please know that any concerns you guys have, I mean, you can always call the office. We have staff working on health benefits, but it's also good to let your reps know so that they can tell us once they get to a committee. And so I think we do hear what the pulse is, you know, in the district. So that's been extremely helpful. And now I want to go into the second interim budget assumptions, so you can see, and then the multi-year projections that we see are going to be projecting. And so you can see here, current year, our cost of living adjustment is at 8.22. Next year is currently at 0.76%. So as I noted, we are looking at possibly a 0% COLA. That's the number that's been floating around currently due to the revenue shortfall at the state level. And the out years is at 2.73% and 3.11%. We do not believe those two numbers in the out years will hold based on the current year COLA at this point. And so, but obviously, we use the numbers that the county give us, and so those are the number we're using, but we need to be extremely cautious since we do not want to over-project the revenue in the out years. And we are very concerned about that.
Can you explain to the audience what LCFF COLA means?
Perfect. So it's local control funding formula, and COLA is the cost of living adjustment. And so what the state do is the LCFF is our base funding, and that basis funding is calculated based on the attendance rate. And so we take those numbers, and then you would apply the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, onto your base. Unfortunately, because we're in declining enrollment and declining attendance rate, those numbers are dropping. And I can, as we can saw earlier when we show you those numbers. And so our base funding overall is dropping at this point, even though it's supposed to increase. But unfortunately, it's decreasing because of even though you are getting a little adjustment to go up, but since we are in decline, where our attendance rate is lower as well, so our base dollars are going down. So for example, next year, our LCFF is projected to be about $422 million, and the year after in 25-22, even with the 2.73% COLA, it's going down to $410 million. And so the issue we're running into is our base funding is continuing to drop, so that we cannot continue to sustain what we have. So there's some adjustments that needs to be made. Okay. And as you can see, I do want to point out you can see the PERS. We talk about the STRS and PERS contribution, the employer contribution. So PERS, employer contribution, this is very, very expensive. 26.68% and going up to beyond 28.9% by 26-27. So for every dollar that the district pays an employee, then there's the district contribution of the, so for example, current year is 26 cents going into that. And then the employee also have to do their contribution as well. And so, but the employer portion has continued to go up. It wasn't even that long ago, the contribution rate was at 13.02%. And so this has more than doubled, so this is a very big problem for all the employers at this point across the state. This is the budget assumptions on the enrollment and the declining enrollment. And so as you can see in the out years, we are projecting a 1,350 student decline for next year, and then another 1,185 decline for enrollment, and then 935 decline. So if you look at 1,350 students, that's the size of a, I was at junior high school. I mean, even we have some senior highs that are getting almost to that level. So it's like you can imagine an entire school that students, basically, we lost them. And so that's the best way I can describe it. And so I think sometimes we cannot realize, because we still have a lot of students. So when you walk on campus, you're just like, I think it feels good. Oh, it feels okay still. But if you look at the hard numbers, and these, because we are a high school district, we get very good data from our feeders, and our numbers been very tight all these time as well. And so unfortunately, this is a phenomenon in our district. The average home prices, the selling prices in Anaheim, for example, is over $900,000 at this point. And in some of the other cities within our district, they're over $1 million now. And so it's just very difficult for families to continue to get into the district at this point. This next slide here will show you our total revenue for general fund in the unrestricted and restricted funding. Overall is $605.8 million for current year. And as you will see, bulk of our money, 70%, is coming from the local control funding formula, the LCAP. We do have still some one-time dollars in this budget, as we have some of the other funding that are coming through. So some of the extra dollars are still there at this point. The next slide here is the total expenditures. As you will see here, our total expenditures is about, for second interim, is at $678.5 million. And I know this is a little hard to see, but this is our multi-year projection. The law requires us to make sure we have a current year and the next 2 years. In this district, we do a 3-year out, current year plus the next 3 years. So we will see where we're at. And as you can see in our current year, you can see in the red, the change in fund balance. That's what we call in accounting deficit spending at this point, by $72 million. And in the out years, we're looking at a $21 million deficit and a $38 million deficit, and then increase up to $57 million deficit. So by in current year in 23-24, our current year second interim, we do have the 6% available reserve. That's after all the various categories as well. And we will go down to a 3% in 25-26. So we are still good at that point. But by 2026-27, we will be in the red with a negative almost 7% in the reserve.
That's after we take action for this year.
So this is after you take action. And thank you for your question. So if the board does not take action tonight, this is your, if there's no staffing reduction, then this will be our chart. So then, obviously, current year, there's, obviously, this is still within our fiscal year, so nothing will be done. But next year, our fund balance will go down to 2.39%, and then we will be in a negative reserve at that point in 25-26.
And aren't we mandated by state to have a 3% reserve?
Yes, 3%, but the board does have the 3% reserve as well, so yes.
So what are the consequences of this?
So, as you know, we had our financial advisor that did come and presented to us, as our district is looking at making refis on the prior bonds to save taxpayer dollars, about $3.6 million. Currently, our district, we have a very favorable credit rating from Moody's at AA2. So most districts in California, the average rating is actually AA3, which is lower than what we're at. So we're actually in a very prestigious category for that. And if we do not take action, then there's a possibility that we may not be able to do this process to save taxpayer the dollars as well. And we would also be filing a qualified budget to the county at this point. I will not be able to file a positive budget based on this other slide here. So going a second, hold on. Okay, sorry, going back this way. So the current budget that we're proposing will be the first one when all the actions are taken. If we, the board, choose not to make action on the reductions, then we would have to change our filing to a qualified at this point.
And if that was to take place, since we are contemplating a bond in the future, you would probably mean we would not be successful in that bond?
It will be tough. I think it will be tough. Obviously, investors would like to have a better rating, and where we have been at, we were looking at to see if we can get some type of upgrade as well, since, you know, we have managed, the board has, and the district has managed finances, you know, well through this point. And if we do show this kind of financial statement, there will be some jeopardies, of course. And so the investors could lose confidence in that level. We are not sure. We would have to go back to talk to our financial advisor to see if we could actually make that refunding at this point.
Nancy, what happens if we file qualified, and what happens after that?
So qualify means, so thank you, great question, means the district may or may not be able to provide the financial obligations, right? May or may not be able to do it. So we are still okay. It's going to be really, we would have to look at our cash flow to see where we're at. So we would actually do even a deeper analysis to do that. Now, depending where we're at, if we are already in the red pretty early on, if it gets worse, we could possibly file negative, and at that point, then the county would take over. The state would actually appoint an administrator to come in and do that, and that will be not something I would recommend. I think we would need to come together as a group to try to come up with options at this point instead of going that direction. But we also want to make sure that the state, given where the state level is at currently, there's a possibility of deferral that we all have experienced not that long ago, and we need to make sure that we have enough cash as well. It's not just the fund balance. You need to make sure you have enough cash in the bank. So I hope people realize it's important that we make payroll. People have, you know, they have obligations at home that they need to have, and we understand that. We take our jobs extremely seriously. We monitor our cash, and we want to make sure that we can, especially to make payroll, that's extremely important.
Can you explain what deferral means?
Deferral means, okay, thank you. Deferral means that, let's say the state was supposed to give us money in July. They would say, now, we can pay you in July, maybe we'll pay you in August. Or the September payment may be paid in February. So we either borrow against ourselves, or we have to go out and to borrow from the county or somewhere else.
But it works the other way because the state has a $73 billion deficit. They have deferred dealing with that deficit. That means they've kicked the can. At some point, that's going to come due. And when it does, they're going to say, well, you know, we've deferred it as long as we can. And at that point, that means severe cuts into the education budget. So that's what we're trying to manage and trying to be very fiscally responsible at this critical juncture for the district.
And the 23-24, the commitments, as you can see, is here. We have the various commitments that we have. We still have some payment for the CNG. There's some bus leasing as well. So tonight, our recommendation is the board will take action to adopt the second interim report with a positive certification then to the Orange County Department of Education. And the next update that we'll be getting will be the May revised. Governor will be releasing his numbers. And we will be taking the updated numbers to the board in June. And so obviously, right now, there's a lot of different things happening as we are continuing to get monthly revenue numbers from the state level. And so we're monitoring those as well. And hopefully, we're hoping that things doesn't get worse, but we just don't know at this point. There's many years of gaps at this point. The governor didn't address a lot of the shortfalls, and we really need them to start handling those. Otherwise, deferring things in the out years when we are already spending money in current year, that is not responsible for us either, for them to be pushing the can down to us, and we have to take a hit for it either. So it's really tough when you do not know your revenue and you're already starting your expenditures for that current year, and that's what we are experiencing with them. And there's going to be possibility that we are seeing that if the money hasn't been spent or if the money hasn't been allocated, that they could possibly take those money back as well. So there's just anything is possible at this point at that level. And not that long ago, there was sweeping of dollars. Remember, this was, we had that phenomenon that happened. We're able to sweep a lot of the categories of dollars, and so who knows? It could be, that anything could happen at this point. I've been in this industry. This is 20 years at this point, and we have seen this kind of happen up and down. But this time, it came really, really quick. So from getting all this one-time dollars to a 0% COLA, that is really, really quick. And so unfortunately, a lot of the COLA dollars are coming to an end pretty soon, especially the bigger ones from the federal government. So the ESSER 3 money, the expenditure deadline is September of 2024. So a lot of the one-time dollars are coming to an end at this point. And so that concludes my presentation, and I'm now happy to answer any more questions that you may have.
I had a couple questions. Can you return to slide 5, please?
5, okay. Is this 5?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. So when we're looking at our enrollment and ADA, can you clarify how much each percent costs us when it comes to attendance?
So it's a little bit, you mean a percent or?
How much each percent loss of attendance?
So I think when we initially calculated, I believe it was, okay, because it's a little different. It's a 3-year averaging. And so I think we estimate between 9 to $12 million around that time, I believe, right? Is that the number? But it's tricky. It's a 3-year averaging. So you go back 3 years. And so depending on what those numbers are, and then that's the year. So I think when we went and did the analysis last time, and so it's around that dollar amount. And so yes, if we can increase our attendance rate, but unfortunately, it's not going to be 1-for-1, right? Because it's also based on, the way how we do the attendance is current year or prior year or the 3-year averaging, whichever is greater. And so there's a lot of different math we put into the formula to get our rates.
And then I had a question on, if you could return to slide 7.
Okay? Oh, no, I'm going backwards, okay. Slide 7, okay.
Yes. You mentioned ESSER funds. Were the ESSER funds just specifically used for certified staffing levels, or were they used for other staffing levels?
We did have both. So we were able to hire some classified staff as well, but majority of them were on teachers.
It also went to counselors.
Well, the counselor too, so that's right, thank you.
But last year, we released or did not bring back counselors, some other staff in that, so.
Yes, so last year there was some classified staff as well as certificate, yes,
Right.
but they were mostly temps, I believe.
Right, all temporary, yes, temporaries, okay.
Yeah, see, my question, oh, go ahead.
So last year, there were, I think, 10 college and career specialists that were reduced, and then I think we had 14 counselors, about 17% of the counseling force that was reduced. They were temps that were hired with the COVID funds.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go to slide 6?
Okay. So
And this could be for Cabinet or Nancy. How did we, we've known that this declining enrollment has been happening, and we understood the budget deficits. We didn't know it was going to come this fast with the zero COLA. How did we address our declining enrollment? In what ways had we addressed declining enrollment?
Okay.
So a few things. One, we have been really intentional with our F1 program as an example of trying to bring more international students to our schools, which has helped to offset very little right now. Obviously, the pandemic had an impact, but prior to the pandemic, we had I think it was about 60 to 70 students up until 1920 when the pandemic hit. We're now getting closer back to the 50 range, but with the idea that we have more coming in, so that'll help offset. We're also trying to do some things with our teachers in our schools around e-cadence and the way that we look at credit recovery versus grade improvement, helping students pass in real time. We spend about $2 million in some programs in addition to about $400,000 a year on Apex licensing. Apex is a credit recovery online program that we use. And so if we can help students in real time earn passing grades through credit recovery or grade recovery modules that right now are being established and built by teachers at CVA, in addition to some other teachers that have been selected to help build the drafting of those modules, that'll reduce the number of students who need summer programs or that credit recovery, hence reducing the need for Apex licenses and hiring folks over the summer. So that's another thing that's going to help reduce some of the funding. And then obviously, one of the other things that we're looking at is if the board should choose to pursue a bond. I know about, Nancy, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, about $100 million is spent yearly, I think, in helping to upgrade facility needs and repairs. And if a bond were to pass, obviously the bond is used to upgrade and improve facilities. So that would be another way to save and help offset some of the decline. Our pathways, the work that we're doing instructionally, I think that's also helping. But the reality is, I think Nancy said, just given what's happening in Orange County with the cost of living, along with just decline in birth rates, right, and what we're seeing matriculate up, is also going to impact. And then the other thing too is CVA, although it's still a relatively new school, that is being used to attract other students outside of the district to come in because many other districts don't have an online academy, and if they do, it's pretty much Apex. Or what's Adventum. So we're trying to do a more rigorous, relevant curriculum that our teachers have developed at the CVA schools to make sure that the students are getting a really whole child experience connected to our drivers, the 5 Cs, student voice, purpose, and the technical skills. So those are some of the things that we've been doing to try to offset the decline in enrollment.
Thank you.
And obviously, the board already has taken the very, it was a hard decision to consolidate as well. And we're doing it in a very thoughtful way. And I know some people may say, well, it's still very fast, but from beginning, when we started this process to when it could have happened in fall of 2025, it's going to be 3 years. So we took an entire year to look at the data, look at where, and look at how. I mean, some of the initial data point, and then now is how and where exactly in location and all that. And so we have, want to thank the two principals at those sites to involve all the staff and parents in the community with that as well. And so those are really tough work, but if we don't even do that, then we'll be even in a tougher spot at this point. So we are, doing all the hard work that we need to do at this point.
So if I understand you correctly, that, basically where we're at with classified staff, we're back to where we don't have any extra staff on board based upon the 27-18 year. Mm-hmm. But we are still below, the negotiated rate with the teachers, correct?
Based on student load, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So all the classified from the one-time dollars, they are no longer here.
Right, thank you.
One last question. If you could go to slide 17.
Okay. 17, right here?
Yes.
Okay.
So you mentioned if the board did not take action, that would put us in a deficit already in the following year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
On slide 14, when we look at the piece of the pie and we talk about the LCFF, can someone on the dais talk about how we address the local control funding formula as a district?
Can you repeat your question?
On slide 14, we look at the pie. Maybe, Robert, we could talk about the process that.
Oh, you mean like the process for the LCAP?
The LCAP process and how we invite
Yes, definitely.
committee
So,
members and parents.
so through the LCAP process, obviously, we want all voices represented and making recommendations on how to, use our funding that is given to us through this process, and keeping in mind that these are recommendations based on available funding. So we take the recommendations, look at what's available, and we do the best to apply those recommendations to what we already have based on the state priorities and our LCAP goals.
And President Randall Trejo, with the LCAP process, when the MOU had expired with our teacher union and we were to lose the teachers that we had hired with the temporary funds, it was because of the LCAP process and the recommendations around class size that it made it very easy and kind of gave the district cover to continue with the class size reduction that we had for those out years until the temporary fundings have left.
I remember that. Thank you. Any more questions? All right, thank you, Nancy.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to item 6.2, Measure H, Citizens Oversight Committee, Annual Report for March 2023, February 2024. Hello.
Yes, it's me again. Wanted to introduce you to our chairperson for our Bond Oversight Committee, Alan Walker, to give you all an update of what happened in this last year.
Welcome, Alan.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Matsuda, staff, guests, folks online viewing. Let me start with this. In accordance with the California Education Code, the school district is required to establish a Citizens Oversight Committee. The committee's duties include informing the public concerning the district's expenditures on the bond procedure or proceeds, reviewing the expenditure reports produced by the district, and presenting an annual report to the Board of Trustees, which we're doing tonight. And I suspect you all have a copy of this in front of you, right? Okay, so I'm going to breeze through a lot of it because I think some of it's stuff we've gone over in the past, but I'm going to hit the highlights so you'll kind of understand where we're at. Things have moved along very well, if you've heard, hopefully you've heard. So these are the committee's activities for the months through March 2023 and through February 2024. We actually met 3 different times over the year. June 15th, 2023, July 17th, 2024, and February 22nd, 2024. Basically, the topics that we, as a committee, go through and include, we look over the designs and construction of the projects, actually on-site, each one's. We look at the final cost reports. We receive and review the different project budgets and go over those. We look at the upcoming Measure H projects and preliminary budgets. We also look at the expenditure reports after that's completed. So getting to the first time, or the first meeting we had on June 15, 2023, we actually went back to Catella, and that was the first campus that we actually started doing any work on. How many years ago was it?
We started in 2015.
2015, yeah, it's been almost 10 years, so it's been amazing to see what they've accomplished. In this site, we looked at, again, the previous construction that they had worked on. They're now in the middle of the pool renovation, which is kind of an interesting thing. I'll hit on that a little bit later. Then on January 17th, the meeting, we actually went to Anaheim High School and looked at the, well, actually, I attended the ribbon cutting for the practice, it's not, is it a practice field? It's the actual full-on athletic field. Amazing with the artificial turf. I believe some of you folks were there. Amazing. I was really impressed, actually, too, with the student that emceed it. Did an amazing job. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I mean, I was an okay guy, but he was impressive. So that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that, and actually seeing the project come to fruition. If you think in terms of the students and when they look at these projects and the quality workmanship that's been done, and it's like 21st century stuff, it really, and I've talked to some of the advisors, some of the teachers that run the different programs with the students, and they have noticed a significant increase in enthusiasm and attending different activities, whether it's sporting or, you know, the music department and things like that. It just adds a lot of pride for the students when they see that you guys are taking pride in making sure their schools look right and are up to date. So props to you guys for going after this, as well as the public, because that's where it all started, was the public passing Measure H. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Okay, then the last meeting we had was February 22nd of this year, and it was at Magnolia High School. And I'll be hitting some of the images or the pictures as we go on further as well. You'll see those. We looked over the projects that they had completed, the pool renovation, the shower and locker rooms for the boys and girls, the music building, but they're also right in the process of putting together the new administrative building and also the cybersecurity building, as well as the art classrooms in the courtyard. It's very impressive what they're doing. Also at that meeting, we had, we received the presentation and reviewed the financial and performance audits for the year ending June 30th, 2023, that was prepared by E.D. Bailey, and that's the district's auditing firm. And the auditor stated that 82% of the Measure H expenditures were tested, which is a pretty good chunk of that. And the final audit report was presented to the Board of Trustees, I believe, on the 18th of January, so you got that. That's very good. Okay. Continue a couple more slides. Let's see. Well, let me do this. Okay. Based on our review of the financial and performance audit report of the June 30th, 2023, projects, dates and the site visits, we're confident that AUHSD is expending the bond proceeds only for the purposes set forth in Measure H, in the Measure H bond program, and not for any other purposes. And there's been some concerns in the past about that. This is strictly for the campuses. And we are satisfied with the efforts being made to complete all projects as planned and in a cost-effective manner. And we'll continue to diligently monitor those projects, which we do. And I enjoy going to see what the progress is in the upcoming projects. The next slide is just the membership, and you're familiar with all of them on us. Now, on the duties, kind of get a little bit on, for those folks that may not be aware of that, the specific activities that the Citizens Oversight Committee includes, I'll name a few of them. We visit the sites, we attend regular committee meetings, one per quarter, and sometimes even more than that, just depends on, you know, how the projects are going and what we want to see. We also review the quarterly expenditure reports, as I'd mentioned, the construction project updates and the progress that they're making. Okay. Oh, now this, I think I mentioned this before, and it's very impressive, and I hope even the folks that are viewing hear this. This is very important. The bond, Measure H bond was $249 million, which was great. But Patty Neely and her staff, because of their diligence in following and seeing what's happening within the state and the different funds that are possibly available, they have put together an additional $118 million in project money.
Wow.
That's incredible. So yes, props to them. And they're continuing on. This will probably grow. Last year it was like only 62 million. So they've increased it considerably. All right, so moving on, we've had 3 of the Measure H bond series draws, whatever you want to call them, for the funds for these projects. And we've gone over those in the past, so I'm not going to go through all of that. But we are on the last series, and it's like getting down to the nitty-gritty as far as Measure H money, because there's only, out of the 249 million, there's $7,569,524.34. So it's getting down to the nitty-gritty time. In other words, this might be the, well, this won't be the last time you'll see me, but it might be the second to the last. There's still a few projects left. All right. Let's see. So moving on, we talked about maximizing that. Let's, if we can turn to some of the actual pictures now, and we'll recap what, yep, we can do that. Ha, okay, I guess I'm capable of that. Okay. So Magnolia, as far as the project of the pool renovation project, it is completed, and it was completed on schedule and within budget. And have any of the, well, I'm not going to ask you that. For any of you that did go over there and take a look at it, it's impressive. It really is. My wife and I both attended Western, so we were familiar with Magnolia because it's fairly close. And what they've done to renovate and the innovation things that they're doing, it's impressive. I won't say what we used to think of Magnolia because, you know, we were from Western, so. Anyway, moving on. Okay, then we're going to hit the pictures, and you can see if you haven't been to the campus as far as Anaheim and the track and field project that they did, and it is completed. And like I mentioned, I was at the ribbon cutting. It was very impressive. It finished on schedule and within budget. In fact, it actually was a little bit ahead of schedule, I think it might have been, actually. Okay, now to move forward, those are the completed projects from this past year. We're going to talk about the ones that are under construction right now. And moving back to Magnolia, thank you, that kind of space-age looking building up there in the left-hand corner, that is the cybersecurity building and administration. And we walked through that. It's coming along very nicely. And you can see some of the other pictures there that are kind of the inside part. They also are working on the, let's see, under construction, some of the classroom projects, as you can see there, and the music building. And then we have the art classrooms and the courtyard project. And then switching to Western High School. They're right in the throes of building their practice field there. Now, it's within budget, but the project is running about 3 months behind, and that's because they had problems with the water table there. And in essence, they were looking to put the support piers for the shade structure 20 feet down, and they hit water at 5 feet. So that made them change, and they had to send the revisions back to DSA with the state so they could get that approved. So rather than going deep with the foundation, or as deep, they're going wide as well, much wider, considerably wider actually, because they, you know, have to make sure that it's all stable. So that will be done, a little bit of a delay, but it's looking good. The actual practice field is already completed and finished. It's done. It looks really nice. I've actually stopped by there. Okay, moving on, we'll go to the Catella pool renovation. Now, back in the day when Catella's pool was built, there were a total of 4. It was Loera, Magnolia, what was it?
Cypress.
Cypress. Was it Cypress?
Yeah, Savannah. And
Savannah. Anyway, different contractors built these pools, and the contractor that built this pool, unbeknownst to the district at that time, when they went to renovate this and took the measurements, they found that the pool wasn't in the specs or the code for the CIF competition. So they had to make it a little bit bigger, bottom line. So that's, it's within budget. All the costs are being covered by the overall budget, but that's creating a little bit of a delay. So, okay, moving ahead, the marquee projects and for the various sites and actually the district fencing as well. The marquees, the new marquees that are being put in are going to be at Loera High School. Loera's also going to get a baseball and softball scoreboard, a new one. The Brookhurst is going to get their new marquee, Gilbert is going to get a new marquee, and Lexington is going to have their information and display board replaced as well. And then looking at, as probably everybody that came this evening, they were outside coming in. You saw the fencing and all the security that's being added to the district, which is desperately needed. We have a lot of stuff going on around the district, around the area of the district in the evenings, and so they're making sure that it is a more secure facility. The next slide, we'll see the parking lot at Dale, which is north of the campus. They're completely redoing it. It was in pretty bad shape, actually. And that's, oh wait, on the other ones, yeah, everything is being accomplished on budget. That's the cool thing, and on schedule so far. The parking lot is on schedule and is within budget for Dale. And then Catella's getting a culinary arts building, and it's on schedule and within budget as well. You can see that. They're also having updates, upgrades on the multipurpose room slash dance, as well as the ADA ramp for that area, and it's on schedule and within budget. Next is Kennedy High School, the entry canopy image project, and it will be completed in April. It's coming along well. The images, if you get a chance, you just go over there and check that out. It's pretty neat looking, actually. The students are very impressed with what has been accomplished, actually, and it's within budget as well.
This one is still,
Oh, it's still in fabrication?
end of April. You'll see this.
Right. But by the end of April, it'll be complete. Okay, very good. Thank you. Orangeview Junior High, another my alma mater. It's getting a new parking lot put on the west side, as well as new tennis courts are going to be built. It's on budget, and it's on schedule and within budget. And then finally, I think this is actually back to Western. They're going to be putting in new perimeter fencing for the face of the high school, which I thought was needed, desperately needed. But if you've gone by Western High School and you've seen the parking lot fencing with the masonry pillars or posts and the wrought iron, it's going to be that type of a look extended around the front of the school, down Orange and up Western. So it's going to really make the school look very classy. Very excited about that. All right, so, oh, gosh, we're getting close. So based on the list of activities, the Citizens Oversight Committee advises the public that the Anaheim Union High School District is in compliance with the Education Code of California, and the bond proceeds have been expended on the project set forth. No bond proceeds have been used for teachers or administrator salaries or other school operation expenditures. It's all been on these projects. If you would like to get further information, if you'd like to see more of the slides and even some of the previous presentations, you can go to the district's website, and you can see all the minutes that we've had over the past almost 10 years, the program reports, the bylaws, the audits that have been done, the additional information, or all that additional information will be on the district website at www.auhsdblueprints.us. and you just hit on the Citizens Oversight Committee tab. So that's basically it. Any questions?
I'm not sure if you would feel comfortable talking about it. I know a lot of people are confused about budget and how we have one budget for a general budget, and then we have another budget, and, you know, how are these different, and why can't we use
Right.
this money on, you know, in our general budget?
Yeah,
Would you
very
feel
similar to the
comfortable?
state and why they're able to get additional funds through the state because of their different budgets. Patty might be able to address that a little better than I.
I can do that.
You okay with that?
No, I can do that.
Oh,
So,
Nancy, I'm sorry,
yeah, no
Nancy.
worries, we're good. We're
My
good,
bad.
yeah. You're totally good, you're totally good. Yeah,
Okay.
Patty's in charge of spending the money, right? So,
Yes.
so with the requirement, with the bond, there is the bond language when we go past the bond, and so it has to stay within those projects. And obviously, part of the, when you do the bond, you also have to have a committee that oversees the expenditure after it's been audited as well. And so the committee, you know, I think our district is very proactive. They do meet multiple times throughout the year in order to review the expenditure. We do have the external auditors as well that review almost, I think I say 92% of the total expenditures as well to make sure it's in compliance with what the voters voted for that bond language.
So bottom line, the money cannot be used for personnel. And California does have a problem with facilities. It's called an unfunded mandate. We have to periodically go to the public to basically get them to tax themselves. And we've been very fortunate to have, as Alan said, we passed a bond. Alan, you were a citizen volunteer back then, $249 million. And because of the fact that we have a consistent record of being on time, on budget, we've been able to leverage that for another $100 million.
Any questions for Mr. Walker?
Thank you so much for your service and for your
Welcome.
presentation tonight.
My pleasure.
Thank you for the
I
update.
just want to thank you and your team that worked with you on this because of how comprehensive it is. It takes a lot of your time from your private life and things you maybe rather do. And it's a wonderful public service to this community because one of the first things people do when they move to a new community is they look at the condition of the schools.
Very true.
And if they're shabby,
So
doesn't help real estate at all.
one of the questions that came up is what is our strategy to bring enrollment to AUHSD? And this is all part of it, Alan, and I agree with Trustee Smith that you as a citizen volunteer and, you know, you've put hundreds, if not thousands of hours. So you and the team deserve a round of appreciation, a round of applause. Amazing.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
And I'd like to add one thing. You had a top gal with Patty Neely. She's the best of the
Yeah.
best. I am awed by what this gal produces.
Yeah. It's very impressive. See, the big reason that I wanted to get involved is because of things that had happened in the past with other bonds. And when I got around Patty Neely and her team, and I started to see their dedication and chasing after other areas of funding, so they weren't just resting on, wow, that's $249 million, that's a lot of money. I mean, it is to me anyway. And to see what they have done, I don't know who hired Patty Neely and her staff, but props to them, because I've been truly impressed. And it was interesting because when we passed this bond, and I was enjoying being a part of that, and I did a lot of the phone banking, there was one gentleman, Gary Rittenauer, remember his name, because he went to Western High School, and just by chance, in my calling, his name popped up, and he was a year older than me, but he grilled me, because he had heard about this previous history of bonds and such, and I said, I feel just like you do, Gary, and that's why I'm willing to get involved, because I want to make sure this gets done correctly. And it's met my expectations, and honestly, not just saying it, it's gone beyond on what they've been able to accomplish. And the quality of the designs at these schools, amazing. And the students, like I say, the key thing is they are really taking pride, more pride, in getting involved And that's what makes a difference, in my opinion.
I'll just make a quick comment. I removed our kids from public education years ago, and I picked our son up the first day of school, and I said, "How did it go?" And he said, "Mom, the bathrooms were clean." So that is when it comes to pride and how you value what you participate in life is so key.
Yeah.
And I recommend you for sainthood for what you've done.
You're
Thank you.
kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Anything else?
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, moving on to 7.1, our student representative report. Daniela Ruiz.
Anaheim wants to highlight their amazing DLA teachers presenting their DLA process at the CABE Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center. Cambridge Virtual Academy held CVA Compliments, where students can give a compliment to a teacher, friend, or staff about what they enjoy about them. Cypress Theater performed That's Not How I Remember It. The Cypress Stagecraft class helped with the set production. Gilbert High School had their second blood drive, in which many students participated in saving lives. Catella successfully held their third RSVP Summit, in which students provided feedback and presented an action plan for the next steps forward for RSVP. Kennedy wants to congratulate Kennedy's varsity cheer team for their back-to-back champion victory. Way to go, Irish. Loera's Vietnamese Student Association, VSA, proudly hosted the first ever Tet Lunar New Year festival in history. The Greatest Showman, Magnolia's international show, by definition, represents numerous amounts of international culture and cuisine. The show took place on February 16th. The show featured alumni performances and cultural performances. At Oxford, girls soccer has now progressed into quarterfinals for CIF. Congratulations. At Savannah, the Lady Rebels made history during their season by creating the record for having the most wins in school's history, 26, ranking number 1 in CIF SS for the first time, ranking number 2 in state CIF for the first time, and becoming CIF state quarterfinalists for the first time in Savannah's history. At Western, star wrestlers had a very competitive and impressive past week, as Isaac Gonzalez, a junior at Western, became the 11th CIF champion in the school's history. Representing the girls' wrestling team was Adriana Vidrio, who will be competing the state championship in Bakersfield this upcoming week. For students interested, we are looking to host a student forum regarding budgeting and staff in the next 2 weeks. Date and time is to be determined. That concludes the AUHSD school report.
Thank you, Daniela. All right, item 7.2. This is the time where we have our student speakers. Former trustee Alvar. This was his brainchild, so I'm so glad that he's here to witness our students in action. All right, first up, we'll give them a little bit of time to come up here. Maya Lababidi from Cyprus. Next up will be after her, Natalia Carvel, and I apologize ahead of time if I'm not getting the name correctly. Maya, then Natalia. Natalia Carvel. Well.
So there are a variety of topics. amongst both the student speakers and the regular public comment. While President Randall Trejo is going through the sheets, I do want to let all of our speakers know we do have a timer. It will be red when you're done, yellow when it's a warning, and it will be green during your time to talk. We do have a 3-minute comment period. There's also a little sheet on the podium to remind you as well.
So we have about 18 students. Two minutes? Okay. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves, please.
Yeah, we filled out three separate forms.
Okay? I'll find you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay.
Separate topics? I think,
So we're
No,
all
we're
one topic, but we filled out 3 separate forms.
Separate from the other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it'll be 3.
Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Leo Ispuro. I'm Xian Lee.
I'm Natalia Carvel, and we're presenting our Civic Action Project policy proposal that we hope will be implemented in the future.
So for our policy proposal, we will be proposing that counselors that specialize in the aid of queer youth be implemented in the schools within the AUHSD. We also have a petition that has more than 50 signatures, from our school. As well as our petition, we also took a survey of the Cypress High School students, and I will be sharing a couple of the questions as well as the results. One of the first questions we have is, do you believe that there are enough resources at Cypress High School for queer students, with 83.1% of students saying no and 16.9% of students saying yes? And then for another question, we have, do you think that our school would benefit from having a counselor that specializes in helping queer youth, with a resounding 93.2% yes, and the rest are either no, or some students are worried that they would snitch. But that's all we have for today. Thank you for your time, and we're also here in support of the teachers as well.
thank you so much. Did we find Maya? Yes. La Babida. I want to say Babida. It's Babidi.
Lababidi. There's similar topics. Let's see.
Yeah, so we'll do the recount.
Okay, I think.
Apologies for not pronouncing your name correctly. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening. My name is Maya Lababidi, and this is my partner, Menafoda. Sorry, my name is Maya Lababidi, and this is my partner, Menafoda, and we are soon-to-be graduates from Cypress High School. And as we approach another graduation, we wanted to bring to your attention how upset students are regarding the elimination of graduation sashes and cords. I wanted to take the opinion of those of you in the audience. Which one stands out more, this pin or these sashes and cords? High school graduation is the first real milestone in a student's educational journey, and it is probably the first ceremony they are attending and celebrating, which should be celebrated in a proper manner. Sashes and cords have been a tradition in graduation since the 14th century. Taking away these traditional accessories really takes away the rewarding and special experience of graduation. The district took away this tradition without contacting any students or parents of this change. Pins do not emphasize the accomplishments of students. Many students take AP and honors classes, as well as attending clubs and achieving many more accomplishments to be able to display their hard work for their loved ones. Instead of the cords and sashes, they receive pins that are disappointingly small and do not show off the dedication of the students. We understand that not everybody can afford the cords and sashes, but it is not fair for those who earn them and can afford them. My partner and I created a survey for staff and students to take, and we were able to reach almost 400 people. So why this change? Why now? We seniors object and would like to return to having the option of sashes and cords in our graduation. Thank you.
What I am told is that there's about a 50-second delay, so I'd like to get the students up, kind of standing in line from the other room. Can I have Gabriela Avila, Andrew Campuzano, and Miguel Calderon? Miguel Calderon, Andrew Campuzano, Gabriela Avila, or Aguila. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, parents, community members, Board of Trustees, and my fellow peers. My name is Gabi Avila, a current senior at Anaheim High School. As we move forward to have our voices heard, us students stand in agreement to advocate for the return of the sashes. Sashes are a reaffirmation of our values, our traditions, and our identity. It is a declaration to the world that we refuse to be defined by anything less than our hard work, that we demand recognition for our achievements, and that we will not settle for anything less than greatness. If we want to see student rates in attendance, involvement, academics increase, let them see that their work is valued and worthy of something better than a pin. If action is not taken, a rapid decrease in student participation in academics will happen. We call upon the district to bring this time-honored tradition so we may wear it proudly as we step out into the world, ready to conquer new challenges and seize new opportunities. It bears witness to the late nights spent looking over textbooks, the early mornings and late evenings dedicated to extracurricular pursuits, and the myriad of sacrifices made in pursuit of excellence. It is a reminder that our individual accomplishments are intertwined with the collective tapestry of our graduating class, a tapestry rich in diversity, resilience, and unwavering resolve. Based on previous events, history highlights the fact that an educational institution is only as effective as the people on the school will permit. That is why we stand here representing every student in the AUHSD district demanding change. Thank you.
Andrew? Miguel? Oh, good.
Parents, community members, Board of Trustees, and my fellow peers. My name is Andrew Campuzano. I am a current City of Anaheim Commissioner, and I am a student recognition and teacher advocate. A few months ago, I was up before this dais advocating for student recognitions, achievements, work, and sashes. I am proud of the work that we have done, the endorsements we have received, and I still urge the board to reconsider this decision. I am here in support not only of our sashes and stoles, but of our AUHSD teachers, and say that I strongly oppose the RIFs, and I stand with our AUHSD teachers and urge you to please reconsider this action. It has come to my attention that some of the people working in this very office have fallen astray from the schools and their interests. I have not met a single student who has demonstrated an interest in pins. Various programs are still distributing and receiving these sashes because we refuse to end this tradition, and it has honored us and rewarded us for our work. I want to commend the students at Catella for their work and defend their rights to walk out in protest of these proceedings. In support of my teachers, I have this to say. Having been in this boardroom various times and always looking at these various CTE pathways that are posted up around these walls, they are shown off. Well, those programs would not be possible without the dedication and commitment our teachers have to our school communities. The CABE Seal of Excellence and our Dual Language Academy, painted at Anaheim High School very quickly, once again, would not be possible without our teachers. Additionally, the countless coaches and mentors across our schools that are constantly bringing championships and victories, I want to thank you. What we need to do instead of getting rid of these teachers is to expand various programs that are already in our schools. A possible option is creating more CVA courses and expanding AP classes and other classes. Additionally, we can stop the excessive spending on digital platforms. One of my teachers put it, Minga and eCadence are not a necessity. We can use free digital platforms like Google Classroom instead of spending this money.
Ladies and gentlemen, please refrain so our speaker
And then
can
being
be-
removed as a
can
teacher,
have his full
just to be
time.
laid off. What if we were to remove more seats on this board or in this office? I don't think you guys would like that. We need to fight for our teachers. Please help us. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but they're on a time, so let's try not to interrupt their speaks, okay? Miguel Calderon? Okay, Pearl Ta? And up next, Haley Nguyen.
Let me get my paper out, please. Thank you.
It's all right, we'll wait for you.
Okay, good. Let me know when it starts. Okay. Like this? I'm gonna test this. Hello? Okay. There were many messages I've seen around the schools from students, parents, and teachers about this issue. This was one of the many that stuck out to me. I feel like they aren't giving teachers enough of a chance, especially the younger teachers. Teachers have and are giving us a chance to flourish. Why are we not giving them this chance? Teachers have given us a chance in various ways, through teacher recommendations, contribution to events, meetings, sports, clubs, counseling, mentoring, and much more. They are creating what I call the domino effect. With enough energy, they will touch our lives and move us forward, one at a time. One at a time. These teachers have set aside individualized attention towards us. I had a history teacher, and if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have learned the simple yet effective way of learning through flashcards and effective questioning. My English teacher has taught me ways to express myself, and if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be able to speak up about this issue. Our teachers have given us a chance. Do you all remember when you were all students? These teachers have helped us build up to where you are today. Do you remember what a teacher has done for you? What encouraged you to serve in our district? Don't forget where you came from. What encouraged you to serve in our district? Don't forget where you came from. How would your teacher feel that an educational environment like ours is doing this to our teachers? You are all students, just like us. How would you feel if one of your favorite teachers were to be laid off? How different would your path be? I don't get why we are laying off teachers. I do understand that it has something to do with the decrease in attendance and the loss in funds and the budget. But if you think about it, would laying off teachers be good in this situation? People come to school to learn. And if we lay off teachers, there would not only be a loss in subjects, but clubs, sports, organizations, etc. We wouldn't have the necessary resources in different individuals to learn. And some may think, well, why should I enroll if they don't have something for me? They wouldn't enroll, and they would already have more loss of funds for the current teachers. If you push teachers away, the dominoes will fall backward. In education, we should be moving forward. Students wouldn't be able to achieve their...
Go ahead, keep going.
Wouldn't be able to achieve their goals. Without teachers' recommendation, this includes scholarships, jobs, and programs that further our development, even exist without a club advisor. Sports, another space that demonstrates teamwork and the importance of improvement. Teachers have opened our eyes to unlimited opportunities. We cannot be unlimited to you if you limit us.
Thank you, Pearl. Ms. Haley Nguyen. And up next, Dai Nguyen.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, parents, and students. My name is Haley Nguyen, a junior at Oxford Academy. Students have come out here today because we are upset with the lack of compassion extended towards our teachers in this massive layoff. We understand that the district is facing declining enrollment and attendance. We understand that considering those statistics, the budget has to be dialed in. But we don't understand why this has to come off the backs of teachers alone. The district emphasizes the 5 C's, yet students feel that this decision to lay off over 100 teachers while leaving all other sectors untouched shows no compassion. Lack of transparency regarding skipping criteria and layoff logistics shows no communication. At Oxford Academy, 7 teachers were notified that they could lose their job. If every one of those teachers were let go, that's half of the English department gone, 25% of the math, 25% of the social sciences department gone. At Cypress, 23 teachers received a layoff notice. This layoff threatens the community, the schools. These are senior teachers that have had experience for years in these schools, who know the culture, who understand the environment, and to swap them out so easily as the most convenient solution hurts students and hurts schools. We are not asking for no teachers to be laid off. We are concerned that AUHSD's solution to reeling in the budget affects teachers alone, with no consideration to other areas in the budget that we could proportionally cut instead. We ask for a compromise, be it retirement incentives or cutting back programs and materials, rather than cutting back over 100 of AUHSD's most impactful educators. And we emphasize that you must preserve as many teachers' livelihoods as possible, preserving the ones that serve the students more than anyone else. Thank you.
Up next after Dai is Ashley Chen.
Hello, everyone. First, I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up today to show support to our teachers. I also want to thank the district admins and the Board of Trustees for letting us voice our concerns about the matter. We want you to understand that teachers go above and beyond the call of duty every day for all students. Here's a collection of first-hand experiences to help you see how important it is to keep as many as teachers in our district as possible. An alumni from Catella. My English teacher offered to pay my Chromebook fee after it got taken away in my car being repoed, so that I could graduate. My econ teacher sponsored me in a talent show and was like a father figure to me. My math teacher made sure I was always fed, and was so kind. My Spanish teacher got me out of debt and paid for my AP exam. An alumni from Anaheim. In 2013, I was on the verge of wanting to commit suicide. It was in January around the same time a teacher had passed away. In the same break, my stepmom passed away and my biological dad became abusive again. My bio teacher at the time did not know I was going through all of that and took the time out of her day to talk to me before she started the class. Because of her and the conversation, I sought to see a therapist and finally gained the courage to speak up about the essay and the physical abuse I was going through. I have never told her that because of her, I am where I am today, and I haven't had a chance to thank her because she made an impact in my life. I am a proud product of the AUHSD, and I am currently working at Dale Junior High while I am in the middle of working on my teaching credential program at Cal State Long Beach. I hope to one day be as good a teacher like my bio teacher, who genuinely showed that she cares about all of her students. I have had the privilege of having so many amazing teachers through education, and because of all of them, I want to be a teacher. From Oxford. My teacher has been great in helping advise the Black Student Union on our campus and really keeping this club alive. Because of a small Black population at my school, the club has had a difficult time accruing enough membership to remain a club. During this past year, where the club was reinstated, our teacher has put in her own time, energy, and money to keep the club running through the many activities we decided to implement this year on our new board. From Kennedy. My history teacher is often sick and forced to miss school a lot. However, even when she's really tired and frail, she still comes to school to teach us. She's the teacher that makes me laugh the most, and her humor is super relatable to us. Most of all, she's the only teacher that I've had who was willingly to teach us real-life skills to open our eyes to all the civics and justice in our society. She prepared us for all real world and is the realest teacher I know. With that, I want to thank you to all the teachers that have made an impact on our students. Thank you for sharing the time with us in the classroom. We will always be forever in debt with your compassion. And to the Board of Trustees, I hope you find the stories of these individuals memorable enough to save our teachers before robbing another student's experience from these teachers. Thank you.
And next up, Jade Huang.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Chen. As someone who's been quite involved in campus, to hear the teacher layoff disheartened me. Addressing the contract with the Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association, the board should promote class sizes within the best interest of the students concerned. However, cutting the teachers will inevitably cause an increase in the classroom sizes. These large classroom sizes are not ideal to work in, especially when classes can only accommodate enough seats for a certain number of students. Teachers will be overwhelmed and have a hard time providing enough attention for each student's needs. And as for the students, they will be disengaged if their teacher fails to take control of the classroom's attention, which will ultimately harm the student's education. This leads on to my question as to why the layoff is only regarding the teachers and not the faculty as a whole. Additionally, I want to ask some further questions. What are the other alternatives that the board have come up with to reduce the budget in the past? And why have those methods failed that led to the layoffs? We see in other districts they have yet to have a mass layoff, more or less a layoff targeted only to teachers. How will the board continue to allocate their budget into ensuring that the teachers are not at risk once more? Who will be the one benefiting at the end of the day? Thank you.
Next up, Lukman Mohammed.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Jade Huang, and I'm a junior, and currently I go to Cypress High School. And in my years of high school, I've gone to 2 different ones, currently attending Cypress High School, and I previously went to Magnolia. And at Magnolia, my English teacher taught me how to embrace my identity and encourage my writing of topics I was passionate about. She prioritized my safety even outside of school and constantly made my time in her class comfortable. And my history teacher at Cypress High School has made my learning more enjoyable. It's made me so engaged that I look forward to learning because I've built a true connection with my teacher. I've never truly left with a teacher before them. In expressing that, I hope it becomes clear that teachers all throughout AUHSD have been a necessity to the growth of students. While I do agree that something needs to change, especially taking into account the decreasing enrollment rate and the decreasing attendance rate, the narrowed focus on laying off our teachers will directly affect the students. Teachers are the building blocks of our education, and knowing that cuts are not being distributed within other employment positions at AUHSD is genuinely disheartening. Learning that we might be losing the teachers that we love is devastating, and the students will feel it if we are to lose the teachers that have changed so many of our lives. And I know for a fact that this is a sentiment all of my fellow students here today feel.
Welcome.
Good morning, Board, Superintendent Matsuda, and the audience. My name is Lukman Mohammed, and I'm a senior from Oxford Academy. For several years, it has been this district's mission to educate students on the importance of utilizing the 5 C's. Today, I hope the board may be able to practice the 5th C, compassion, for both our students and teachers that contribute to fostering a healthy learning environment within AUHSD. A group of AUHSD students have gathered here today to request that we keep our teachers. I and every other student here would not have had the courage to be in front of you if it weren't for the incredible mentorship and coaching that the teachers you plan to lay off have demonstrated. The mass layoffs of teachers will only hurt the student-staff relationship within our school communities. The maintenance of this relationship is vital for pushing students to attend it and stay in school. Affecting this could cause an increase in chronic absence rates and will not attract students from outside district boundaries. Despite us students being fairly young, we've gone through enough schooling to understand a basic math equation. No educators equals no education. The programs and advancements in artificial intelligence that AUHSD offers cannot replace the unfathomable amount of work our teachers do. So our number one priority should be maintaining the security of the jobs of our teachers. Today I ask, why our teachers? Why cut out the most essential resource to the education of the students within our district? Why attack the very root of the successes of our community? Why boast about the pride of the programs we offer and the facilities we are constructing if we can't help to keep the teachers that provide the most benefits to our students? Why should we bear the burden of why should they bear the burden of our budgeting problems? Why cut the only resources we have that has a personal effect on students? This decision goes against several of the ideas mentioned within the AUHSD core values. So today I ask, is AUHSD education working for students, or is it the other way around? Thank you.
Let's let's have Kylie, I'm going to call first names so it can be quicker. Kylie, Emily, Asia, and then Valentina. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm a senior from Cypress High School. Great to be standing in front of you all. I'm not gonna lie to you, like half of that budget talk went right over my head, but I'm not really here to listen to that. I'm here because I believe that when people are in need, you help them, especially when they've been there for you. And even if they haven't, you should still step up to bat for people who need it. It's one of the things that the teachers at Cypress have taught me. Because when I joined the chess club, the advisor sat down with me and taught me my first opening move. He started my love for chess. My old history teacher sits in his room every day with me, listens to my problems, and he was actually the first teacher that I confided in about my depression, and it really helped me recover. I've been out of therapy for basically a year now, and I'm feeling significantly better. What I'm trying to say, in not so many words, is that these people have always loved me, have always supported me, have always stuck up for me when I needed it, even when I didn't know how to stand up for myself. They taught me that I'm a person who is worthy of love and care and support, and I'm just so tired of seeing them being taken advantage of and beaten down by the people in their lives. They do not deserve this. Over 100 of them being laid off, that's absolutely ridiculous. Is this a way to repay them for all of the work, all of the love that they've put into these students' lives? Because I don't think so. You know what? I'm stepping up for them, and you have a higher responsibility than me, do you not? 17 years old, speaking at this board meeting, taking time out of my day. What's your excuse?
Thank you, Kylie. Welcome. Am I looking at Emily, Asia, and Valentina? Welcome.
Good evening. Our names are
Asia Jabbar,
Valentina Morales, and Emily Rizzo. We are 7th graders at Sycamore Junior High, and the reason we stand in front of you today is because of Stephanie Farfan, or to us, Miss Farfan. It has come to our attention that there will be teacher cuts, and we are here to convince you to let us keep our amazing teacher. Miss Farfan is our 7th grade DLA Math Honors teacher. DLA stands for Dual Language Academy.
Something that makes Miss Farfan so special is that there has not been a single day where Miss Farfan is not greeting us outside the door with the biggest smile on her face. When we walked into Miss Farfan's room on the first day of school, she was extremely welcoming, and we all knew that her class was going to be a safe and fun learning environment. Not only has she made learning fun and enjoyable, but she has also encouraged us to try our best and push ourselves. Something that I really personally found special about her was that she took the time to learn my name. My name is typically harder to pronounce, and most teachers take a good week or so to learn my name. But after the first day of school, Miss Farfan got it down, which I thought was very thoughtful for her.
Ms. Farfan provides help for her class before and after school. If you don't understand a certain topic, she'll always do her best to make sure that you get it. Whether it's helping during independent class time, staying after school just so she could do a one-on-one learning session, or doing it before class starts. Ms. Farfan is always willing to open up her classroom and stay after school so students can have a fun place to hang out and catch up on homework. She truly makes all of us feel cared about whenever we're in her presence, and in less than 1 year, she has showed true compassion and genuine care and interest in us, not just as students, but as people. We know that cuts are being made based off seniority, but her impact and contribution to Sycamore Junior High School, the DLA program, and my peers outweighs that. We're here to ask you to save her job and let her keep her spot at Sycamore Junior High School and in the Dual Language Academy. It would be a shame for other students to not be able to be a part of her class, and they would be missing out on all the amazing things that she has to offer.
Sorry. I also spoke to my dad about the tough choices that you as board members have to make, and I personally wish that the board and the union would have made a choice to give lower pay raises to teachers, so that way you could save more teachers, such as Ms. Farfan, who are investing in us and in our future. I hope that both sides will think about this next time that you have to make such a tough decision. We also brought with us a lot of letters from her students that could not make it here today, but they also think that Ms. Farfan should keep her spot in Sycamore Junior High School. Thank you, and I hope you have a good night.
Sarah and Yara and Sophia and Emma.
What was the first one?
Sarah?
Emma, Sophia?
Oh, yeah, anyone can come up. Okay. Welcome.
Good evening. I want to first thank everyone here tonight for being engaged, and not only the teachers among us today, but for taking a part in my future. For the record, my name is Sarah Lakoud. I am in the 10th grade, and I'm here to help represent my fellow classmates at Cypress High School. I am a child of 2 first-generation immigrants from Syria. As a child, I was never able to receive help for school due to our language barrier. So I relied heavy on everything the school provided. I relied on those teachers to be passionate on what they were teaching. I relied on those teachers who made a difference in my education, helped guide me to a path that engaged me to ask questions and learn about the world around me. AUHSD loves to push the resources they provide within the district, but are blinded by the fact that not all students are the same. The district blatantly ignores how students have the power to feel comfortable around teachers, as it is a profound connection one cannot share with a counselor. A student just needs the relief that a teacher sees a future in them, not just 55 minutes till a class rotates and end up leaving the student to overpower projects amongst themselves so that they too can earn validation. Or worse, believe a student isn't capable to learn like other students because they aren't smart enough. I've seen many of my friends spiral over a bad grade, and 90% of the time it's because they didn't make an effort to check up on the student to see if they really understand. But who can blame the teacher? They have to try and engage 40 students in the span of 5 days a week, over and over on an endless cycle. The CTA, also known as the California Teachers Association, has their set maximum class sizes due to the California Education Code. For any board members wanting to follow along, I am referring to sections 41376 and 41378, where grade levels from kindergarten to 8th grade have set class sizes. Only problem is, after 8th grade, it is decided and deemed to the district what class sizes are acceptable. For those still following along, this section was made in 1964, making this code 60 years old. Only thing is, our curriculum has changed, become more difficult, our population rises. We need teachers who are here to impact our students' lives, make it better, not cut back on teachers because it's mandated by the state. AUHSD needs to push smaller classes and more teachers, as studies have proven. It is one of the most effective ways for students to learn. As Harvard, Princeton, Yale, you name it, they've all backed these studies. So today I'm not asking, but stating AUHSD to stop the selective staff cut, because it won't benefit anyone but cause a plummet in hope for students. Because if our teachers can't maintain a job due to those yearly cuts that appear out of the blue, then what makes our futures any more stable? Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Emma Ortiz. I'm a senior at Anaheim High School. Today I'm speaking on the issues surrounding that of teacher layoffs and sashes. Teacher layoffs result in higher costs for each additional teacher notified. Teachers already are very low funded in both their subjects and personally at each school within the AUHSD district. By laying off these teachers, you not only take away from students' education, from teachers' survival, but also from our education within the community that many parents have fought for students to have today. All the dedication these teachers have put into this district is being wasted. On the matter of sashes, I believe that since the district members aren't in current student positions, they cannot understand the impact they have on students by removing the sashes from schools. I myself have worked so hard my entire life, and as well as have teachers globally, to showcase accolades of my success. By revoking sashes and replacing them with pins as an alternative for our schools, my work has gone to waste. Same can be said for all of the students witnessing this event today. I have worked restlessly for my academics, and all of that has gone to waste, unless we are to enact the change students are asking for you to enact. As a resident of Anaheim, I would like to see Anaheim prosper and grow with the times, but because of these issues discussed today, I do not see that change happening anytime soon. This has gotten to the breaking point for some residents, leading to the major decline in population in Anaheim due to either residents moving or for other unforeseen events, such as these issues today. Looking at all of this information side by side, I can understand why residents are looking towards other cities in California for residency. I urge every single board member to enact the change students have voiced out about today. If we do not change, I can guarantee to the board that they will see a decline in students' attendance and academics as a whole. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Emma. Sophia or Yara? Sophia or Yara?
Is that the last one? Who's the next person? Who's the next person?
Sophia or Yara?
Oh, there's-
I'm doing first names.
Can I start speaking? Okay.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much. Let's see. Can I? Okay. Hello? Okay, thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, board members. Hello, audience, students, parents, everyone that came here to listen. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. I am a student at Catella High School, and I am also a first-generation student. My name is Yara Sanchez. I am currently a junior. I am a member of intermediate dance, as well as JROTC, member of various clubs, too. Maybe a few days ago, maybe last week, we had a walkout to protest pins and the disappearance of sashes. I saw how powerful and how united us students were under a cause. And then I heard about the teacher reduction. And I knew that I would be here not only just for students, but for teachers as well. The school is my second home. Teachers and all my friends and all the students are my second family. I think I've spent more time at school than anywhere else. I will not be here without my teachers. I owe them so much. I owe them most of what I am today, the opportunities that I have right now, and the person that I am. I owe to my teachers. I thank them so much. I thank all teachers here and all counselors that are listening. Thank you so much for all the effort you have put and all the passion you put into your work. I owe so much to my teachers, and I could not imagine how school would look like, how my life would look like without them. And if there was any reduction in staff, I have a bigger class size, no, I could not succeed as much as I did today. I thank the board so much for listening. I thank all of you here that are in support of teachers. Without teachers, our schools are nothing. Teachers are the heart of our schools, and I really hope you board members consider my words as well as the words of others that have come here to speak on behalf of them. Thank you so much.
Okay, hi, my name is Maite. I'm a sophomore at Catella, and I want to protest say some words for PINS because, as well as Yara, I also did, I was at the protest saying some words. I did see many people say that they didn't want any pins and that we have done so much, so many hours, so much effort. We have been to sweat and tears, anxiety, so much that we think that we should get some cords and be proud of and show what we have done for many hours, because school, like Yara said, is like our second home. We have literally done so much, not just us, but also teachers. And I think from a personal background, my parents came from another state, coming over here, saying that we want the best for you, and I want to show them how much I have done, and show them, but not just by pins, but cords. Thanks.
Sophia? Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm here to talk about the shortage of staff and teachers. I am from Sycamore Junior High School, and I'm here to support all of my teachers and staff. I owe a lot of thanks to all my teachers that are supporting me. And I want to thank Ms. Luz Bolaines and Ms. Wakabayashi for being my math and science teacher. They really showed me a lot this year. Ms. Bolaines showing me how to do slopes and all the fractions. And Ms. Wakabayashi showing me about all the dinosaur sections and about space. That helped a lot. Sorry if any other teachers are here from Sycamore, my bad. Thank you everyone for the support that has been here today, and thank you for your time.
So I just want to say thank you so much to our students who came here. We know it's not easy to get up here and speak in front of a crowd, to get up on the dais. This is very heartfelt and emotional for you, and we heard you, and we are listening and taking notes. And if you ever, want to sit down with any of the board members or cabinet, I understand that cabinet members have been meeting with students, and we really appreciate hearing your words of truth and your insight. It helps us be better at our jobs, and we thank you for coming forward. Okay, moving on to reports of the associations. Mr. Morgenstern.
So just to clarify, right, and before you start the time, 5 minutes, right? Okay, all right, so.
It's okay.
Wow, how about those students? Haven't started yet. Getting ready. All right. Good evening, Board President Randall Trejo, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Matsuda, and Cabinet. Tonight, my association report is about the district's proposed budget reduction plan, which directs the elimination of 110 teachers. That's right, 110 full-time teachers. That's almost 10%. So what does the loss of 110 teachers mean? 2/3 of our current students will not have another class with at least one of their current teachers. This is a tremendous loss to our students. In response to the needs and the asks of our community, our teachers have created many new and inventive course offerings added to this, the district-wide move to SAI model for special education. It's no longer uncommon for teachers to have 3, 4, sometimes 5 unique class preps. Losing 110 teachers will only amplify that. A teacher cannot effectively prepare for so many classes. Teachers will be unable to differentiate instructions for their students and provide behavior or social emotional support. It will severely impact the quality of our students' learning conditions. I have seen teachers and their students in this boardroom sharing amazing achievements, standing here with their families, smiling and taking pictures. Losing 10% of our teachers will guarantee that many of these student opportunities will disappear. It will be impossible for the remaining teachers to take on these roles and above and beyond their already overflowing plates. A teacher shared a recent story with me from a student who spoke at an LCAP stakeholder meeting. The student shared that it takes a long time to get help because their teacher has so many students to help every day in so many different ways. Cutting 110 teachers will further decrease the opportunities for students to receive individualized attention from their teachers. Teachers realize that we're facing a significant decline in enrollment. On the face of it, cutting 110 teachers indicates a state of emergency when it comes to our fiscal well-being. Is it? How is it no other district is close to cutting 10% of their teachers? We've done our research. Only 2 elementary districts are cutting a combined total of 23 teachers. Letting so many teachers go seems like we're heading off a financial cliff. If this is the case, why are no other employees targeted for layoffs? No district administrators, no site administrators, counselors, social workers, psychologists, district or site classified staff. Now, I am not advocating to lay off these other employees, but something doesn't seem right about a plan that only directs the laying off of 110 teachers, who are the only employees in our districts that spend their entire workday in the classroom with students. As I said before, we understand declining enrollment. We are projected to lose 1,300 students next year. Definitely not good news, but that loss should equate to about 45 teachers, not 110. Last year, the clear direction of LCAP was to reduce class size and support staff ratios. Almost $12 million was spent on these reductions, with 4.5 of it spent on non-teachers. Not a single individual from this group, other than teachers, have been designated for layoff. The decision to cut 110 teachers flies in the face of what our community has been asking for through the LCAP process. The district's budget reduction plan led to a notice of reduction in force for 195 permanent status teachers. Think about that, 195, in some cases reaching back to 20 years of service. I can't even imagine what the next few months are going to be like for these teachers as they hope and pray that their layoff notice will be rescinded. Almost 1 out of 5 of our permanent status teachers will be trying to conduct business as usual while working under a cloud of anxiety, uncertainty, and fear. Their careers, access to health care, means by which they support themselves and their families are on the line. And how this layoff process was rolled out definitely does not reflect the 5th C, compassion. I want to finish my association report on the topic of class size. There is a belief out there that class size doesn't matter. As a 24-year veteran of teaching junior high history, I can tell you class size matters. The teachers sitting here in this boardroom will strongly attest to the fact that class size matters. I ask you to genuinely engage our teachers, our students, and their families in meaningful discussions about class size. I can't imagine saying to our students and their families that their authentic lived experiences are completely based on a false premise. Why are you saying to our school community, I understand what you're saying, but we know better? I applaud our joint efforts to build community schools in Anaheim. Key to this transformational strategy is that we listen, we see, and we acknowledge the unique assets and experiences of those we strive to serve. I now ask you to listen to our school community. Furthermore, it is unconscionable that teachers should be asked to forego a raise or even a cost of living increase to fund reasonable class size. Now, there could be additional information or impending decisions that I'm not aware of that might mitigate the loss of 110 teachers. If so, I'm happy to engage in those conversations. However, if this is the budget reduction plan in its entirety or in its majority, then I foresee additional conversations, not just with me and not just with the AUHSD leaders in this boardroom tonight. I appreciate you listening, and I encourage you to heed the community's call to action in the coming months. Thank you.
Dr. Sasai? I like saying that. Dr. Sasai.
Good evening, Madam President Randall Trejo, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Matsuda, Executive Cabinet, students, parents, and school community joining us in person and online. We appreciate the opportunity to address you today as we navigate through these challenging times together. It is important for us to acknowledge the concerns that we have all noted, from the recent notices of reductions in force to the fiscal responsibility we must uphold in the light of declining student enrollment. Despite these obstacles, I stand before you with optimism and a firm belief in our ability to overcome. I want to take a moment to celebrate the success of our students during the winter sports season and congratulate Western and Savannah for their CIF state runs. In our junior highs, we wrapped up a wonderful season in sports, and we want to encourage students to continue to participate and get involved in extracurricular activities at their home site. I also want to highlight the beautiful International Day events throughout the month of February, the Girls Engineering Day, CABE student, teacher, and staff presentation, and a huge shout out to the following schools for their California Distinguished School Recognition: Cypress, Kennedy, Lexington, Oxford, and Magnolia High Schools. I also want to thank our community partners and organizations for sponsoring the incredible AI Summit. The summit was not only a testament to our dedication to innovation, but also a demonstration of our capacity to adapt and thrive in changing landscapes. Our students, teachers, and staff shined as they shared their practices in and out of the classroom. Events like these remind us of our potential for growth and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. As we move forward, we are grateful that at the heart of our institution is a commitment to our people, to our students, our staff, and the community we serve. Let's continue to work together, hand in hand, keeping our focus on our mission and the better future we create for all those we serve. Thank you for your unwavering dedication and commitment to our institution. Together, we will rise above these challenges and build a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Did any other association wish to speak today? Okay, Heather. Heather Hetner, CSEA. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Members of the board, cabinet, board of trustees, and superintendent, and parents, students, many employees. I just want to start with saying we definitely sympathize with our ASTA compatriots. Although I have a few hundred instructional assistants that would probably not agree that you are the only ones who spend all your time in the classroom. So, we would just like to say that we would like to thank and recognize all of the classified members under CSEA and for what they do for our students and the district. While we have way too many different positions for us to mention specifically, especially when there's this many speakers, we do want to talk about a couple in specifically. Our paraprofessionals, our specialized academic instructional assistants who help our special education students in the classroom, and all of our specialized instructional assistants, behavior support, special abilities, adult transition, medically fragile, vision impaired, deaf and hard of hearing, who not only help in classrooms, but also help care for our students' basic needs, including feeding, toileting, and specialized procedures. Our campus safety aides who monitor the campuses, including bathrooms, gates, and are critical to both the prevention, de-escalation, and management of violence on our campuses. These are not only some of the most important roles on our campuses, they are also some of the lowest paying and the hardest working. We're thankful for the increased training that the district has provided for the campus safety positions this year, and we are hopeful that additional training will continue to be offered for both them and for our paraprofessionals for the safety. We also want to continue to recognize all the continued hard work of our school's office staff, the office clerks, secretaries, and senior administrative assistants. Despite declining enrollment, the daily tasks asked of our site office staff have increased. Efforts for increased parent and student engagement result in increased phone calls and office traffic. While we lost our community liaisons, we kept all of their duties. The district has been able to introduce many wonderful programs for students, but many of those require additional purchase orders, requisition forms, parent phone calls, interpretations, scheduling, etc. And those are all done by the continuing existing staff. The school board policy on school clerical personnel allotment was last updated in 1993, and it hasn't been followed in years because it's from 1993. I know HR Classified is currently doing their first ever study comparing staffing levels for school office sites. So we just hope that when they complete that the board will take that information and revise the policy so that we will have an actual consistent logical formula that will be used to determine the number of clerical staff that are assigned to the sites. I thank the board for your time. We hope that everything in the future continues to go okay.
Is there any other association that wishes to speak? Okay, we inadvertently missed a student, Haley Sotelo. Would you please come up?
Good evening to everyone here today. Today I'm here standing on behalf of my students, my fellow peers, and the teachers who have brought me up and fostered my love of learning. I have been a student in the AUHSD and Anaheim district since I was in kindergarten. In my time with AUHSD, Anaheim Union High School District, I have been given so many opportunities, but among them, I've also been given teachers who care and have fostered my love of learning in and outside of the classroom. Some of the most amazing teachers I have had have taken the time to explain and go into depth about what they are teaching before and after school, as well as always answering all of my questions. I can't imagine not being able to go back and visit. As a student, I can tell each and every one of you that the teachers you have hired have always given us care and have always gone the extra mile. Most of these teachers are coaches in sports and are advisors in clubs. If these teachers are not there, yes, there is a possibility that someone else could pick up that club, but the probability is low because a lot of teachers already advise other clubs. This directly affects all of us as students and will affect the students coming into our district. My sister is in 5th grade, and I can't imagine when she gets to junior high not being able to have the teachers who poured into me so much not being able to be there to do the same for her. Not to mention, if we have less teachers, then there will be bigger classes, which means that teachers will not have time to advise clubs or coach sports, or stay after school when a student has a question or needs help, because they will have to use all that time grading due to the large class size. As a student in the Global Language Leadership Academy, I can tell you that our teachers do the best they can and take the time to get to know their students. I can't imagine if the 7th graders now, who have gotten to know the teachers for science, history, and Spanish, and are expecting to have them, the same teacher next year, come back to a different person. One of the reasons a lot of GLLA 7th graders are not worried for their 8th grade year is because they have already established a set relationship with that teacher. I say this confidently because that was me. I'd like you all to look at all the students who have come here to represent their teachers, and all the teachers who have come here. They are the ones who make the programs possible. All we ask is that you hear us out and take our opinions and how this will directly affect us into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Hey, do we have anyone from PTA here to speak? Okay, moving on to public comments, open session items. And I'd just like to say opportunities for public comments occur at the beginning of each agenda item and at this time for items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the board trustees should complete a speaker request form. I have them here and submit it. Each speaker is limited to the maximum of 3 minutes. I think tonight, are we going to keep it to 2?
No, I think it's still 3.
It'll still be 3?
Different topics.
All right. Board members cannot immediately respond to public comments as stated on the speaker form. First up is Lee Garcia. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you. Okay. I'm speaking here tonight because I can no longer stay silent. In 2018, my daughter and the Kennedy girls water polo team were interviewed by the police at Kennedy High School. She soon became a Jane Doe in the criminal case against her 40-something-year-old water polo coach, who's now serving 18 years in prison. The coach was able to get into the Kennedy pool wearing only a Speedo, where he sexually assaulted my daughter and 3 other students. He slapped my daughter across the face and kicked her in the chest repeatedly in the Kennedy pool as a way to teach her to toughen up, he told her. He then made her do it back to him. He also sent her disturbing text messages from the Kennedy pool deck. How could this have possibly happened at one of our schools, you all ask? Well, I'll tell you how. 2 years prior, in 2016, another Kennedy coach was arrested for sexually assaulting students. Soon after, the district let the head coach and the principal go, promising to hire a new water polo coach as soon as possible. Instead of immediately securing a new water polo coach, Mr. Matsuda wrote a letter of recommendation for the same principal who police say failed to report sexual misconduct allegations to law enforcement or child protective services as mandated by California law. The principal told a detective that he was aware of allegations against the coach more than a year before the coach's arrest, but did not investigate those allegations. The district let the whole school year and summer go by without hiring a new water polo coach, so the players had no coach and no summer program as they were promised. Finally, in August, they hired a coach, but did not hire any assistant coaches, so this new coach had unfettered access to players as he got in the Kennedy pool to abuse them. In the light of everything that has happened to these students at Kennedy High School and the failure of Mr. Matsuda all along the way, I'm here tonight to ask this board to fire Mr. Matsuda. Do not let him just quietly retire. Fire him now. If you can't or won't, then please resign yourselves. You are the very board who continued to give him raises and renew his contract even after this information of him writing the letter of recommendation came out in 2019. How do you guys sleep at night? The safety and security of students in the Anaheim Union High School District should be your top priority. Fire Matsuda now and give his ridiculously bloated salary to all of these teachers out here.
Next up, Blanca Villegas Ortiz. Ms. Ortiz? Matt Rapone?
The timer ready? I can go? Oh, okay, I'm Matt Rippon. I'm a teacher at Anaheim High School. I've been there for 24 years teaching English, and I've taught AVID for 18 years alongside of that. Ever since starting my career in the year 2000, I've embraced technology in the classroom to use as a tool to assist teaching and to teach students on how to use that tool. I'm here to talk about action item 10.14 in our agenda today, where you'll be asked to approve the district to pay $450,000 to eCadence to experiment with an AI tool that is designed to be an electronic tutor to help students with their assignments. I want to share some notes to help you decide to postpone that approval. I want us to wait until there is published data on the efficiency of this type of tool. I want to wait until there is published research, published information on the cost and revenue of this tool before we make a decision. The action item does mention that we are going to share revenue with eCadence and AT Solutions Group LLC. I would like to see better projections on that. I think we need to wait until there's confirmation from the AUHSD teachers and by parents as well. I have an email printed right here from a parent saying she is very concerned with AI leading her son in certain assignments. I want us to wait until AUHSD stops paying for Google Workspace for Education. I say that because we should not pay into two LMSs at the same time. We currently have a subscription to Google Workspace for Education, which includes Google Classroom. We have just been denied access to it, teachers. So we pay $150,000 a year for that. It's lower with the lower enrollment. It's $125,000 a year. It's a lot cheaper than $450,000 a year. And it would take 8 years under that cost to reach $1 million. I say that because it's a long time to reach $1 million. After looking at all the numbers that Nancy shared with us, with all the millions and millions, well, that's a long time to reach 1 million, right? And it would take 16 years to reach $2 million. It's really not that much money, and the tools that Google offers are non-biased, and they are very effective. I request that the district pilot other LMSs before leading into another contract with eCadence. We have our contract with eCadence to expire in January of 25. So now is the time to start shopping and piloting other LMSs, Google Classroom, Canvas, etc. Thank you.
Jermaine?
Hello, board,
Hello, Jermaine.
administration, teachers, students. I really want to recognize the students and the teachers who are in the next room over, because they are out here in force to support both their sashes and also our teaching staff. My name is Jermaine Newman Chow. I'm a parent and a community member and a sorry, I need to speak louder. Parent, community member, homeowner here in Anaheim. And I was looking at the agenda for this meeting today and saw quite a few MOUs that we're going to be signing that have to do with AI, that has to do with our research and our grants, things that are supporting our school system. But I'm really moved today by our teachers and the issues here as a homeowner and a resident. When we had our facilities gentleman talking about how great our facilities look and how that's going to keep up our enrollment in our district. And I will tell you as a homeowner, a resident, community member, a parent, it is not the facilities that make my school, it is our teachers. With the reduction in class sizes or the increasing in class sizes, it affects our state standards. We are now at below 20% for math in the Anaheim proper schools. Okay, so if you take out Oxford and you take out Cypress and Kennedy, we are now below 20% for math. How are we going to prepare our students, our kids, for those future jobs? The jobs in AI, the jobs in science. The MO on 10.15 is about computer science education. We need our teachers to be able to teach these kids. And that's the way we're going to continue to get people like me to put my kid in Anaheim High School District's schools. If we have class sizes that are too large, I'm not going to send my kid to a school that's so large that the class sizes are unattainable, that our teachers have no way of connecting with our kids. This is a community issue. Our families in Anaheim, in Cypress, in Buena Park, we are the customer of this district. And we really need you guys to focus on what we need as community members, as what's going to be best for our families, our communities. It's these teachers. Please look at other ways to try to cut costs. I understand it, but if we continue to cut our teachers, we will lose more students.
Dixon?
The previous speaker is ready.
Oh.
Ms. Ortiz?
Okay, come on up.
Good evening. My name is Blanca Villegas Ortiz. I am a parent to 4 children. One who just graduated from Catella with a $14,000 scholarship offer from CBU. 2 of them currently attending Catella, a junior who just became VP for Catella's ASB for the next school year, 2024-2025. A freshman who made second team all-league in cross-country for the varsity team. And all because they had or have great teachers and mentors. And I currently have an incoming 7th grader whose transfer to South Junior High was denied today. Today I came in person to file an appeal, and instead I was told I couldn't file the appeal. I repeated myself to your transfer desk personnel and was told to instead file a complaint next door. I asked who I could speak to above her and was told to instead remove my 2 children from your current high school, Catella High School, and make them go to Anaheim High School. Make them leave their friends behind. Make them leave their relationships built with their teachers, who they have learned to trust and have pushed them to their fullest potential. This isn't an option, not for our family. What I want you to understand is the fact that as a parent, I have already established a relationship or relationships with teachers at Catella High School. I am hoping to join Catella's PTSA tomorrow during our coffee chat with the principal. And this week, I learned some of Catella's educators received slips. Some of them being current teachers of my children and some of them being past teachers who have helped in their guidance and their education. I was not supposed to be here tonight speaking to the board, but the teacher layoff is the reason I'm here. I ask that you please go back and look at the transfers that were denied. I also ask that you also go back and look at the budget. Is letting go of Anaheim Unified High School District the only option you have? Is there nowhere else where the budget cuts can be made? Please don't forget that at one point in your life, a teacher helped guide you in your education. Please don't limit my child as to where she can learn the best. Thank you.
Dr. Sigson? And then next up, after Dr. Sigson, Guadalupe Basave.
Thank you for your time. I graduated high school in 1997. Gas was $1.25, and we thought that was massively too high. That was a long time ago. And 2 weeks ago, I gave Miss Weaver a phone call. Who was that? That was my high school teacher who helped change the trajectory of my life. I'm sure that district had a great board and leaders, but I called none of them last week. My school had a great pool and a great marquee. I did not go visit those because they shaped my life. Miss Weaver shaped my life to the point where 27 years later, I gave her a call. What made her so great? She was there. She taught curriculum with a passion. She opened her classroom up during lunchtime. She was a club advisor. She was there. She helped me process college and career path. When sophomore Evan had his heart broken by Lisa Nava, that teacher was there. 20 years from now, none of these students are going to contact any of you, as great as you might be at your jobs. They are not going to contact AI. They are going to contact their teachers unless you rift them tomorrow. Here's the reality, is this move would not only negatively impact current teachers that are great. What message are you going to send current students who have the seed of passion of being the next generation teachers? Why in the world would they pursue teaching when they're about to witness a district cast off 110 teachers? They're going to have zero confidence in education as an occupation. This is a moment of time for all of you to step into the destiny that you gave an oath to sit here. Nintendo had a huge fallout a couple years ago, Wii U. It was a terrible system. Their CEO said, we're not cutting anybody. Me as the leader is going to take a self-imposed 50% salary reduction. And then every board member self-imposed a 20% salary reduction because they said the morale of our company will be done if we cut the people who are doing the actual in the world work.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes a todos aquí presentes. Mi nombre es Guadalupe y tengo una hija en la escuela South del grado 8.
Escuela South. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone that is here. I have a daughter that is in grade 8 in School South.
El día de hoy estoy aquí en apoyo a los estudiantes de Catela porque se me hace una injusticia que estén quitando los reconocimientos a aquellos estudiantes que se esfuerzan y tienen clases de honores y los quieran dejar al mismo nivel de otros estudiantes que simplemente hacen lo básico.
And I am here to support the kids or the ones that are doing really good in school. And they are just taking the recognition away from them. And they are being put to the level like the others that are just basically doing the same.
Estuve en la junta de DILAC. El señor Matsuda mencionaba que hay bajas graduaciones. Él decía que había 3 razones por las cuales estaba esto: baja natalidad, las escuelas charter, que están abriendo más, y que la gente se está yendo porque las rentas son muy caras.
Yeah, I was in one of the DILA meetings with Mr. Matsuda, and where he mentioned that one of the reasons why there are low ¿están bajos en qué dijo?
Graduaciones.
In the graduations is because the residence is expensive, and ¿por qué más dijo?
Baja natalidad.
Yeah, and it's low in the quality. And also the increasing of our charter schools.
Yo como padre de familia me pongo a pensar, ¿por qué no ponen un cuarto punto? Que es que no están haciendo nada para incentivar a nuestros estudiantes. Al contrario, les están quitando medallas de honor cuando se gradúan, les están quitando bandas y solo les quiere dar un broche. Yo asistí a una graduación de charters y créanme, había niños con 6 medallas. ¿Cómo creen que se sienten esos estudiantes a recibir sus medallas por el esfuerzo que han hecho todos los 4 años que están ahí? Creo que tienen que pensar en eso. A mi niño de 9 años me dijo, no es justo, porque ellos se están esforzando. Un niño de 9 años.
So I think it should be a 4 element, and that should be that the kids should be getting incentives, like if you go to a charter school, they get like 6 medals. Believe me, they're making a big effort, and they're not getting, and you guys are taking away all this recognition.
Entonces yo nada más los invito a reflexionar en esto, porque yo como padre, si a mí me dice no te vamos a dar nada en tu graduación, los cambio a una charter, sorry.
And that is why she would encourage you to reflect on this, because as a parent, she would think that if she's not given anything for graduation, then she would move her child to a charter school.
Hey, David Morgan, please. Welcome.
Good evening. First, I want to congratulate all of the students who came and spoke today so eloquently and so strongly. In the notes that I prepared and in listening to these folks, I have 2 children in Anaheim Union, and all I'm seeing is balancing budgets on the back of the teachers. And you're going to increase class sizes and create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You talk about shrinking enrollment. So you lose 10% of your teacher base. It gets out in the public what students are going to want to come out here. It's going to decline. So you're going to continue to cut it on the backs of teachers. And you have all these beautiful buildings, and you have no teachers to teach in them, and no students to occupy them. There'll be great monuments to this board. You know, in closing, I was going to challenge this board to look to itself, to look to the money that the pay increases that it's received. But I saw on the agenda today that Mr. Matsuda is up for a 4.5% pay increase. It's on the agenda, folks. Look it up. So you mean to tell me that in the same meeting where you're going to potentially RIF 110 teachers, you're going to increase the superintendent's pay by 4.5%? I'm sorry, you make charter schools look better every day. Have a magical evening.
Julie Zipsich. I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly. Zipsich? I apologize.
Hello, good evening. The original reason I came tonight was to speak for a growing group of my friends and neighbors who currently have children enrolled in this district. We wanted to voice our concerns pertaining to teacher cuts. The consideration of laying off teachers directly impacts the quality of education and support our students receive. Since my 3 kids should be funneling into this district in a few years, I felt it was important to support the parents and teachers in this effort. As I was doing my research pertaining to your decision to lay off teachers, I became aware of the rapidly declining enrollment and alarming low test scores. I was alarmed and saddened how significantly below average the scores in reading, math, and science are in this district. Per California dashboard, Anaheim Union's performance reaches far below average orange rating, declined 5 points in ELA, 2 points in math, and 2% in EL progress. So the natural solution you thought of to combat your declining test scores was to lay off more teachers in social justice and stay woke courses? We all understand the importance of putting our students first. It is disheartening to see decisions being made at the district level. The recent things that have been prioritized over the actual well-being and academic success of our students is unbelievable. The consideration of laying off teachers directly impacts the quality of education and support our students receive. Furthermore, the current lack of supervision on campus and already large class sizes has led to concerning behaviors such as drug use in the bathrooms and PDA among students in the classrooms. These issues are only exacerbated when there is insufficient support and guidance available to our students. The decline in test scores indicates that the current methods may not be as effective as we hoped. We should all understand the importance of putting our students first, so it is disheartening to see the decisions and priorities being made at the district level. To put our students first, we need teachers. My 3 kids still have a few years before they go into this district, and I'm trying to be proactive by speaking tonight in hopes you prioritize academics. With over 100 teachers' jobs on the line, I was scanning over the bulletin for tonight, and I invite you to turn to page 20, action item 9.30. like that last gentleman mentioned, a 4.5 raise they're asking for superintendent and assistant superintendents.
Okay, thank you. Sparks? Wendy Sparks?
That item was pulled.
Oh, prior to the board meeting, that item was just pulled, so I just want to let you know. That item was pulled this
Wait, was it mine?
9.3.
What she was speaking about previously? Right, okay. All right, good evening. A few years ago, I attended and spoke at a school board meeting and listened to a presentation of an interim budget report. I remember hearing that the district was anticipating declining enrollment. When I left that meeting, I felt confident that the district had a plan for this decrease and would plan accordingly to do what was best for kids in the upcoming years. I am here again to speak as a parent of a Cypress High School student athlete. I am not sure you are aware, but Cypress High School football coach, Rick Feldman, a former Orange County Register Coach of the Year, who has attracted many players to Anaheim Union High School, has received a RIF notice. I heard international students, virtual academies, but what about athletics? Has the district thought about how much of an impact athletics can increase or decrease enrollment? I know the board has to make tough choices, but I ask, why is it always teachers who take the biggest cuts? The people who have the most daily interaction with students, the one, as you've heard today, have had the most impact on our students. I had multiple goosebump moments today listening to the student speakers. These students are a testament to the hardworking, dedicated students of AUHSD. These budget numbers are all projected, but in the meantime, teachers have to deal with these drastic cuts. How many teachers and students will AUHSD lose because of this? I thought the district was trying to attract students. I ask you to please consider other options. We can do better than this. Surrounding districts are all experiencing declining enrollments, but have made different choices. A student in the overflow room made a sign that says it best: "My teachers do all they can for me. Please do all you can for them." Thank you.
All right, that ended all of our speaker public comments. Moving on to items of business, educational services, 9.1, school-sponsored student organizations. And Daniela, you get to vote with us on this one. This is an action item. I need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Resolutions, 9.2, resolution number 2023/24-B-12, adjustments to income and expenditures, general fund. Resolution number 2023/24-B-13, adjustments to income and expenditures, various funds, and the 2023-24 second interim report, action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call vote. Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.3, resolution number 2023/24-B-14, establish the special reserve for capital outlay projects, fund number 4042, action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Move the second. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.4, resolution number 2023/24-F-07, approval of notices of exemption for the Western High School site improvements project, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, seeing none. Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.3, resolution number 2023/24 24-F-08, approval of notice of exemption for the Western High School gyms modernization project, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this is a roll call vote. Any questions or comments on this item? Mr. O'Neill?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
I vote aye. 9-6, resolution number 2023/24-F-09, approval of notice of exemption for the Magnolia High School Agri-Science Community Center project, action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments on this item? All right, roll call vote. Mr. O'Neill?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Item 9.7, resolution number 2023/24-E-19, Autism Awareness Month.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. The adoption of this resolution, just want to read a little bit about this, 2023/24-E-19 for Autism Awareness Month recognizes April as Autism Awareness Month, time to focus attention on those with autism and related pervasive developmental disorders. It also provides an opportunity to inform parents, guardians, and communities of the efforts of the district that the district is making to support autism awareness. Mr. O'Neill?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.8, resolution number 2023/24-E-20, Cesar Chavez Day, action item.
So moved. Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. The adoption of this resolution honors Cesar Chavez for his many achievements and contributions to our nation. It also provides an opportunity to inform parents and the communities of the efforts that the district is making to support Cesar Chavez Day, today and every day. Action item, Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.9, resolution number 2023/24-E-21, National Child Abuse Prevention Month, action item.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. This is some background information on this. National Child Abuse Prevention Month is acknowledged in the United States each year during the month of April. By acknowledging the need for public education and community services to help prevent child abuse and neglect, many groups hope to reduce the impact to children and families facing child abuse. And this is an action item. Mr. O'Neill?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 9.10, resolution number 2023/24-E-22, Arab American Heritage Month, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This Arab American Heritage Month celebrates the contributions of Arab Americans to the United States and celebrates this group's heritage and culture. Action item, Mr. O'Neill.
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Moving on to item 9.10, resolution number 2023/24-HR-03, certificated reduction in force. This is an action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Would the board like to ask any more questions or have anything else to say about this item?
I don't have questions, but I do have comments.
Okay.
So I just want to thank everyone that came out tonight, all of our public speakers, especially our students. You know, tonight's decision is not an easy one ahead of the board, but we do have an obligation to maintain a fiscally responsible budget and address the economic challenges ahead of us. And that did include last year a consolidation plan of one of our schools, and we are in a decline in enrollment. It's a serious and growing problem that needs to be addressed. It's more than over 3,000 students in the years to come. And but I do also share your frustrations in the process and the notifying of reduction in force. And we are obligated to over-notify and also follow this is the code set by the state of California code that mandates that these get sent out. But I do know that we are still waiting. The governors may revise And we are still ahead of some of the upcoming retirements, so we hope it can be in a better place in the budget, but right now, this is where we stand.
Yeah, and I have to ditto what Ms. Guerrero just said. It's a difficult decision to make. We've had to make these decisions before in the past, and unfortunately, we'll probably have to make some decisions like this in the future. This does not come easy. We appreciate the students coming forward on any subject matter to express their feelings. It is important for us to hear what they have to say. We do listen to what they have to say, and we take it to heart. So what is being done tonight is not easy. The numbers you have heard, I know, are going to be mitigated. We are at the, by law, we have to make decisions by March 15th. That's not our decision to make. We have to do it. And in order to get to where we're going, we have to, what we don't like to say, but we have to over-riff, knowing full well that we will be reducing that in the future. I can't guarantee where it will be, but we know that it will be below where we're at now. So I reluctantly will agree.
When I came out tonight, I spoke to Daniela, and I made the comment to her that I remember America coming out of the Second World War as a grammar school kid. I remember my brother serving when I was 10 years old in Korea. My husband went to Vietnam. And I can tell you from where I'm sitting here in front of you, I don't ever remember as painful time as we are living through today. The difficulties of running school districts is nothing like it was when I went on this board years ago. And I detest this. One of the most beloved people in my entire life was my stepmother. She taught kindergarten, and she was an angel. And I have teachers in my family. And as Mr. O'Neill said, we have to make these decisions. But I am going to tell you, I am going to do everything I can within my limited power on this school board to make sure it's as fair and equitable as it can be. And I thank people that teach in our schools. The other day we had a meeting, and I said the public doesn't have a whit of understanding of what you deal with in schools today. It's mind-boggling. And I leave these meetings at times and I'm just choked. So I'm going to go along with this, but I want you to know I will be speaking behind and do what I can to make it. Don't boo.
So we're people too, and we understand that it's an economic thing. It has nothing to do with the hard work of each and every one of you. We know your students love you. This is, as my colleague said, one of the hardest things that we have to face. If we do not face this, we do not have a school district. We can't run a school district on negative funds. What I understand, and I'm sorry if some of you did not get the information until tonight, we've been looking at this for several years, knowing the next year, this is gonna be the year, this is gonna be the tough year. And then we got the ESSER funds, and we're like, yes, we can save it. We're pushing it, we're kicking the can. And this is the time. And if we don't do it now, and we don't really take a hard stab at what we're looking at, what we're facing, I'm sorry, you know, it's really tough. And we don't take this lightly. Cabinet doesn't take this lightly. They lose sleep over this. Yes, they do. They've been answering phone calls. We all have been answering phone calls and trying to explain to students because they were given partial information. And I'm a little disappointed that they aren't given the full information of really what's transpiring here. Because in knowing the whole story, you can understand it. You may not like it, but you can understand it. And, well, what I do know is that we have been talking about it, and what I do know is I don't believe any other school district has a superintendent and the assistant superintendent of finance come out to each and every site. And I don't want to debate, I don't want to have a back and forth, but I do know they did come out and they made themselves available. This is tough. This is tough for all of us. And a loss of 3,500 students in just this time frame, we have to be responsible. And we cannot spend one-time monies on ongoing funds. So we all know how you would run your own budgets at home, and you would be fiscally responsible. So we understand, and we feel you, and this is tough. So, moving on to the vote. And this is a roll call vote. Mr. O'Neill.
Very reluctantly, aye.
Ms. Smith.
Sadly, aye.
Ms. Guerrero.
Reluctantly, aye.
And I as well, aye. Moving on, 9.12, resolution number 2023/24-BOT-04.
Madam President, can we hold off for a moment, please?
Yes.
Why don't we take maybe a 2-minute break?
I can speak to you out here.
was pulled? Who asked you to pull it? The one in the back?
Democracy. Democratic process.
Item 9.12, resolution number 2023/24-BOT-04, compensation for board meeting. Action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
I abstain.
Ms. Guerrero,
Aye.
and I vote aye. 9.13, agreement, transportation, Friends of Montessori Greenhouse School. Action item.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 9.14, Contract Waxy Enterprises LLC and Envoy Solutions Company. Action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
915, agreement, Wolpert Inc. All right, action item.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, moving on, all in favor?
Aye.
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 9.16, home to school, transportation reimbursement plan, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
917, agreement, the after agency, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
918, agreement, Thomas Phillips, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
9.19, agreement, Simon Silva, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
I had a quick question.
Yes.
Sorry. I know this is a new Parent Leadership Academy that will be district-wide, if I'm correct. How would that promotion work across for our parents?
So if approved, the Family and Community Engagement Specialist, along with our community school coordinators, will work with our site administration to promote this event with parents. And again, it's about 2 cohorts of 60 parents district-wide, and they'll do it with Simone Silva as a part of the module this spring.
Thank you.
Just as an FYI, I think it was 6 years ago when we had a parent leadership conference that was here in the La Palma room. He was one of the keynote speakers and was really popular with parents. So that's one of the reasons why we're bringing him back.
Brought him back, all
good.
right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
912, Contract Independent Vision Therapy Evaluation, Dr. Beth Ballinger, action item.
Slow moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
9.21, Agreement Well Street Psychological Group, Inc., DBA Well Family, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
9.22, Memorandum of Understanding, Jose Mendez and Elizabeth Van, Esquire, PhD, University of California, Irvine, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Can you just give a quick little description of what this is going to do for us?
Yes.
9.22,
Research
yes.
partnership.
Let me see. This is with Katie Childers. Yeah, so they're going to be doing some work with, I think in regards to math, and it's our partnership with UC Irvine. So I think it's one of the things that they came to us because of the work that we've been doing, and they wanted to connect and do some work where they're doing teacher interviews or looking at equitable classroom experiences that connects to math. So they're also going to be doing some professional learning with our teachers as a part of the research that UCI has been doing. And so Katie Childers, our curriculum specialist, has been working closely with them and is going to be bringing this to our district. And again, they received the grant, UC Irvine, so that's where there's no cost to us.
So it doesn't affect our budget, but, so they came to us?
Yes.
They wanted to work with us. That's really cool. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Human Resources, 9.23, Initial Contract Proposal, AUHSD to Mid-Managers Association. This is an information item. 9.24, Public Hearing, Initial Contract Proposal, AUHSD to Mid-Managers Association, MMA. Does anyone wish to speak on this item? Scared Ms. Guerrero with my memory. Okay, seeing none, moving on. 9.25, Initial Contract Proposal, MMA to AUHSD, information item. 9.26, Public Hearing, Initial Contract Proposal, MMA to AUHSD. Anyone wishing to speak? Okay, 9.27, a public hearing, disclosure.
You have to close the public hearing.
Oh, closing. 9.27, opening public hearing, disclosure of collective bargaining agreement with APGA. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Okay, closing. 9.28, adoption of the 2023-24 collective bargaining agreement with APGA, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This agreement includes a 4.5% increase on the salary schedule retroactive to July 1st, 2023, just for information item. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
9.27, certificated administrators, classified confidential and classified management salary schedules, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 9.30 was pulled prior to the board meeting. 9.31, memorandum of understanding, Central State University, action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
9.32, 2024 California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly Election, action item.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have ballots for this?
Yeah, take your exhibit FF out and mark it.
What one is it?
FF, exhibit FF.
Okay, and while we are marking our ballots, it won't take us that long. Moving on to the consent calendar. Anyone wishing to pull an item?
Yes, 1010 LL and 1011.
And 10.14.
Brian, I didn't hear after
1010
LL,
1010 LL
Thing off.
and 1011.
10, 11.
Fingers. Thank you.
Anything, any,
Move the balance.
Second.
okay, motion for the balance and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, item 1010 LL, 1011,
Move both.
second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose, abstain?
Aye.
All right, 10.14.
So moved.
Second. I just had a clarifying question. Can you clarify the cost to the district for e-cadence?
So at this time, we have an agreement with Acadians where we're not paying anything. It's no cost to the district. It's a 5-year term, but I think it extends beyond the 5 years. But what this is a premium service that's part of Acadians, but we're not paying for the learning management system.
Okay, thank you.
Can you say that a little bit louder?
Yeah, we have not been paying for the learning management system. It has been at no cost to the district. And matter of fact, it's been our teachers and our staff that have worked with the Acadians team in building and constructing the platform that we use, taking the best of what they've seen from, I think it was Haiku or Power School that we had previously. And then we have users who've used Canvas before, so the best of those worlds in terms of what they've been building.
So it's our teachers assisting in building it?
Yeah, so obviously they have their own engineers, but our teachers regularly provide the feedback, and then they make the changes based on the feedback. We've been the pilot beta district. Now they're working with other districts.
Got it, thank you.
And this is a nonprofit organization?
Correct.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to cabinet reports.
Trustee Randall I have the results of the tabulation.
Yes.
So the voting is up to 7 seats. There are 7 candidates, so technically we can pass through all of them. Trustee Randall Trejo received 4 votes. That was the top vote getter. The second was Candace Kern with 3. After that, we had Lauren Brooks and Barbara Schulman with 2. Carol Crane and Jonathan Stone with 1. So it would be up to the board to determine whether to pass all or the top 3, or however you would like to do it.
Well, it sounds like everyone got at least 1 vote.
That's correct.
I think we should just move them forward then.
Okay.
That's,
Fine with
that's my
that.
recommendation.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 11, superintendent and staff reports.
Just want to thank all the staff for participating and supporting the AI Summit. Want to thank the board for that. I think it was a big success at no cost to the district. Thank you to our sponsors as well. And really thanks to the students who participated, and especially the young lady who spoke so eloquently from Magnolia High School, spoke about the importance of getting these tools responsibly into students' hands. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Metzer.
Just a quick promotion. On March 19th, we'll have our annual Soapbox Speech Awards and presentations at Loera High School. So hopefully you can make it to Loera to see the representatives from each site who won their respective school contests to be able to speak at Loera and give their speech.
Thank you.
You said 19?
Yes, it's March 19th.
Nancy?
Oh, I have no report tonight, thank you.
No report.
Just wanted to acknowledge our social workers. It is National Social Worker Month, so on behalf of our district and our AUHSD community, just really acknowledging and giving a lot of appreciation and gratitude to the hard work that they are obviously involved in every day at our sites and supporting our students, staff, and families.
Thank you.
I had the opportunity to go to the CABE conference that happened last month, thanks to GLA, which is Global Language Leadership Academy, offered at my school. And I also had the opportunity to interview a lot of our guest speakers at the AI Summit. So that was also a very fun experience that we will be seeing in our next school reports.
Mr. O'Neill?
Hi, okay. Speaking of CABE, I attended at least a luncheon in recognizing, there she is, Renee Bryant, as Administrator of the Year. So congratulations again. I was glad to be able to be there to enjoy the recognition. I attended the Black History Month celebration at the Kennedy Performing Arts Center. The Girls Engineering Day at Dale Junior High, which is always neat to see the junior high kids, junior high girls there, learning about the possibilities of engineering in their respective fields. I attended the HP Learning's studio ribbon cutting at Anaheim High School. So they have, I think it's like 20 computers added to the school, which is really nice to see. I attended the AI Summit, so I have to give kudos to Mr. Matsuda, cabinet staff, everybody that was involved in it. We had a lot of teachers presenting there, and they all did a fantastic job. The ones that I attended, they did. I don't know about the other ones. They probably didn't do very well, but maybe you can attest to them, but I know mine did. So I learned a lot, about that much. In the world of AI, it's just a learning process, so looking forward to learning more. And after that, I ran over to the ROP next door. They were having an all-district, all-staff in-service. And so our Madam President, myself, we got in for the last little bit of it, so at least we were able to make an appearance. I attended the the Western WASC reception on the Western campus on Sunday, and that's always interesting to sit in and listen to and answer their questions from the visiting team. And then the ROP, I visited Western High School yesterday. And what the ROP, for people that don't know that are in the audience, ROP is comprised of 5 school districts, and we're one of them. And so the ROP has career technical classes throughout all those 5 districts, and I just happened to be the one that we were visiting that day was our own Western High School. And on that campus, I visited food and hospitality, the construction, the iLab engineering design, and then public and community health. And I was happy to see all the students were engaged, very busy doing their thing and learning, and it was nice to see. And the food, hospitality and food, were making burritos for teachers for today. And a couple of people tasted them, and they said they were very good. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill.
Okay, well, I mentioned earlier that I had attended the discipline committee meeting, which was held at Anaheim High School and encompassed also Sycamore teachers, and the insurance committee I attended. And I mentioned last month that I had attended the health committee, and I just would like to speak to Orlando Griego and his team of wonderful human beings that put out meals that are just wonderful. And I just think that they do it with such grace. And I'm just grateful for what they do and trying to teach our young people what's healthy and what isn't healthy, and to save themselves in the future. And then I also attended the ribbon cutting at Anaheim High, and that was really interesting to see all those computers and what those kids are doing in that class. And I just want to thank each and every one of you tonight for being here. And I was sincere when I said I've never lived through a worse time.
Thank you. So I had the opportunity to attend an international night show at Magnolia High School. I also attended the CABE conference and was able to celebrate Sycamore Junior High School being recognized as a Seal of Excellence school. There were also some other Anaheim community members that we were celebrating, Dr. Renee Bryant as District Administrator of the Year Award, and Jesse Alvarez, who is a parent AESD, but also AUHSD, got the Parent of the Year Award. I attended the 9th Annual Girls Engineering Day and also joined my colleagues for the HP Learning Studio ribbon cutting at Anaheim High School, and just want to thank all the partners that made that possible. And I also attended the AI Summit, and just want to give a shout out to all the teachers, staff, and student presenters that shared their AI work being done in the classroom and in our district. And I want to thank all the sponsors that made that conference possible, including Orange County Board Supervisor Doug Chafee, Google for Education, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, to name a few. And then I just want to echo my comments from earlier. I do sincerely appreciate everyone that came out tonight, the students, the teachers, and staff. It wasn't an easy decision today, but we're hopeful for the months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. All righty, really quick, I attended my ROP meeting, and I also attended the spring in service at that time, my GASELPA meeting. Last week, we, along with our student trustee, we interviewed our newly elected ambassadors. That was tough, wasn't it, Daniela? They were all wonderful candidates. Every school site should be very proud of who they sent out to be interviewed. And when I had a minute to use the facilities, I went over to the girls' engineering and popped in and saw the beautiful work that event just really helps our students really build their skills. And just I was talking to a junior high school student, and she was trying to, it was the exercise where they were having to help an animal get across an area of land, and engineering, that's part of one of the projects. And this girl was so eloquent. I thought I was talking to a high school, and then I remembered this is junior high. I mean, she knew exactly what to do. And when the teacher came over because the teachers they give them the assignments, and then they let the students work together, and the teacher was just blown away. So kudos to those folks that put that on. I attended the farm to table dinner at the MAC. They made us cook our own food, but it was actually really fun, and it was actually really tasty. So that was a surprise to me. And we got to pick herbs, and it was just a really wonderful event. We also received a $15,000 check from the city of Anaheim. So thank you to them. I attended the HP Learning Studio ribbon cutting, saw students participating in robotics and broadcasting, gaming, and it was just an amazing event. Oh, also, I think you forgot to mention the international show. Did you say that at Magnolia? Okay. So as I was leaving the MAC, and I could hear all of the wonderful events at the Magnolia International Show, and I think it's probably the biggest one that I've ever seen them do. I also was privileged to attend the AI Summit. As a trustee, I've been to many conferences as a parent before a trustee, and I think this was the absolute best summit conference that I've ever attended. Our staff, impeccable, hostessing, speaking, commentating. It was absolutely amazing, and we're going to do it again. I hope so. I think people came from Canada. There were 2 other international countries from Germany. We had 31 people from different states in the country. I mean, I don't know how this was birthed, but it took, 9 months to do? And we couldn't do it without everyone. I saw everyone there, and you all are amazing. You made us so proud. And the students told us that we need to embrace AI. It's here, and we all are using it. We watch Netflix, we stream, we do all these things, we're all using it, and we need to, and a student just put it succinctly, get over it. We're gonna use it, we're gonna need it, and the students wanna be trained, and they also, the high arc of the summit was to use it responsibly and humanely. So they want us to teach them how to use it correctly. And so on that note, addressing the elephant in the room, we all kind of had our wind knocked out of us tonight, but please, people are speaking out of anger, people are speaking out of fear. I think misinformation was given out to some folks, and misinformation was spoken at the dais. You know, we take to heart what people are saying and we listen, but by no means are some of the accusations true. Just please keep that in mind. We are a proud district, and we're going to keep going, doing the best that we can for all of our students and all of our teachers and all of our classified folks across our district. We love this district, and I know I speak for all of our Board of Trustees here, including Anna Piercy. So, thank you. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.